What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Apex the Podcast. The boys are here. We're ready to go. We're going to go through some more roster mania stuff, do a tier list, and then we have an announcement at the end of the show. But let's check in with everyone here. How are we doing, Finn? How are you doing?
I'm good. Good. Just kind of going through a little bit of a transition right now. But overall, pretty good. I can't complain. And yeah, I'm fixing to sign up for a 10K. I did a 5K, two weekends ago. So gonna step up my game a little bit, see if I can go double the distance, all or nothing type of deal. But
you got that easy.
Yeah, I think we'll be able.
How was the 5? I mean, do you think how hard do you think the 10K is going to be compared to what
if
you
we're doubling down? I think
at some point it's just got to be it's just a mental thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
I feel like it's got to be.
Running's all mental.
Just keep running.
Yeah, long distance running is all 100% a mental battle. Like 70, when you get to 75% of whatever you're done, like that last 25 is all mental. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case after I get done. Like when I get to mile 4. How is my body and is my mental going to be feeling going into the last two miles? I don't really know, so, but that's me. Mm-hmm. That's my week. E, what about you?
I've been good, man. Enjoying some time away from stream. The feast has been amazing. Absolutely nothing to complain about. Had free day, which went really, really, really well. Thoroughly enjoyed that and got to spend it with some amazing people. And I'm chilling. It's been really amazing. Dude, I had on my last day of stream, I did a 27-hour juicer because I was like, okay, I'm going to be taking time off. I want to be like putting some time in. And it was nuts. And that 20, by the time I got off by the 27-hour, I had gotten over 500 subs in that one stream, which is nuts. I went from like a little bit over 1,000 to like over 1,500, which in a day is just nuts. And during that time, I did play on 3 different ranked maps, in one sesh. Started the day on whatever is right before World's Edge, and then played all of World's Edge, which was super fun, and then ended on, I think, Olympus. So I think I went a little bit of KC, World's Edge, and then like a little bit of Olympus. I might be wrong on that order, but I played World's Edge the majority of the time. And it was a fun time. I enjoyed it. And then the time off has been well. And now is something that's super cool is that I did qualify for the Twitch Partner Plus program. And so I didn't even have to do anything. They just automatically just bumped me up to a 70-30. And so even though I'm not streaming until like the 8th, anybody who subs, I get a 70-30 split on it now. So I just get like an automatic pay raise. And that's super exciting. That's really cool. Because like getting that 70-30 split has been something that I've been wanting to have for a while. And now it's here. But I'll probably still be putting in some time on Kick just because it's just another opportunity to like take over a platform. And if spending like a little bit of time less on Twitch allows me and puts me in a position to be able to do that, I think it's probably the play. We'll see how things go though. Yeah, I got absolutely nothing to complain about and a lot to be thankful for. And I'm gonna continue to enjoy like the time that I have off of stream and just being able to be with and spend time with people I love. And I'm really excited and looking forward to the rest of it. And then it'll be nice to get back to the grind eventually when that time comes. But I'm just going to enjoy each moment as much as I can. How you doing, what?
Doing good, dude. Doing good. Hockey's around the corner, which is always solid. Always a good time. Broadcasted some games this weekend. Had some things I got to fix. A lot of people actually came in and like went into the chat and was like, I'm only here for me. And a lot of people don't even watch hockey and they were just in the chat. And after it was over, it started The game didn't start till 10 p.m. Pacific. And after I ended the stream and I was driving home, I pulled out my phone when I got home and looked, and there was like people tweeting me being like, I watched the whole thing. And I was just like, why? Like, it's just, it was cool. So
That's
that was
sick.
nice. It
That's
was, but
how
dude,
many? What was
it's
the? Do you know the
frustrating.
Twitch chat? Do you know like the stream summary?
I didn't look because so I turned off all the little panels so I didn't get distracted like during the game.
Yeah, for sure. While you're streaming. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's definitely wise. But you didn't even go back and check.
well, so I got really mad. So what ended up happening was I had used a different soundboard than I normally use for the stream. I had bought, and when I first got into podcasting, I didn't know how I was gonna do. So I bought like a cheaper soundboard, and it was only like it only had like two plugs on it, and it was like just very, it was cheap. And so I used that instead of getting my big one because I was like, I don't want to potentially damage my big one if this one works. So I tested it out and it worked. Well, I didn't test out my goal call on the smaller one. So when I did my goal call, it peaked so hard that it just cut. So all the goals that we scored, it just my voice is cut and you can't hear the goal call, which is like the whole point of wanting to broadcast and like do good is like those moments are cool because we were losing 5-0. And at the end of the second period, it was 6-5. We had pulled a 5-goal comeback in the last 10 minutes of the period. And I was so excited to go home and clip that. And all of my goal calls, because I peaked so hard, were just cut. So I was so frustrated about that I went to bed like just staring at the ceiling, just pissed. So I didn't look at any of the stats. But then the next day, the team kind of like texted me and they're like, hey, we thought it was hilarious that every time we scored, like your voice was so loud that it cut out, which made me feel a little bit better. And then I started working on like cool graphics and stuff to make it like better and all that stuff. The angle wasn't great either. We're working on getting some equipment to get a better camera angle. So I just that's been cool. And they actually just came and supported, and so it was awesome. I should go back and look at like the stats and stuff, but it
Yeah,
it
you
was
gotta
very
peep it.
cool.
And I mean,
Yeah,
dude,
it was cool.
that's. I mean, that's just an amazing experience, regardless. I mean, obviously, it sucks that like those things did go wrong, but like you learned, and now you
Yeah.
know to do better. And then like it's not like you're not going to have crazy games that you're going to be able to have those calls for. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah. No, it was
I
a
mean,
good time.
yeah, I would make sure that you just focus on like the positives out of it more than the negatives. Because I mean, like, there's no.
Yeah.
I mean, from my POV personally, like, and just as your friend, I would because like I wouldn't be going out and just like shoving my advice on just anybody, but like because like you're the homie, like I would hate for you to like have nights where you like go to bed in like those states
Yeah.
where you're just like
It-
mad.
it's
Especially when
partly
you're
my
like you had
fault,
so
but-
much that you could have been like happy for.
Yeah, it was actually really stressful beforehand too because their internet at the rink was so bad that I wasn't going to be able to stream it at first, and they didn't have any sort of like Ethernet cable. And then I told Coach about it, and he wasn't happy, obviously, and he kind of gave it to me a little bit, and so I was like, "Fuck, I got to figure this out." And so I started scrounging around the entire rink. I found a random Ethernet cable somewhere. And then I went to go plug it in, not realizing that my laptop doesn't have an Ethernet port because it's a newer one, so it's thinner. And I was like, fuck. And then the owner of the rink he was like kind of like a tech head, but he was like, I might have an adapter for that. And he was like, oh, look, but I don't think I do. And he ended up having one. And so then the stream was saved from there. But I was already so stressed out about that because Coach was on my ass that I was like, fuck, man. Like, it was just all the way around. It was a tough day. And I thought we had finally fixed it. And then I went home and looked, and that was the first thing I saw. And I was crushed. And so I just, yeah, no, there is a lot of positives. And it also has kind of awoken something in me that I've been when you fall into the motion sometimes you forget like you got to keep learning, and especially in this industry you have to stay on top of it at all times. You cannot stop ever getting better and honing on your skills, whether it be communication, whether it be like the technical stuff, all of that. Like you got to keep going. And from Coach kind of getting on my ass, it was like a wake-up call being like, dude, you need to be just way more prepared than you are. And I talked about it last week, and I went through the preparation process of making sure I had labeled everything, getting my bag together. But those were things that I didn't even anticipate, because when I used to broadcast there, they had an Ethernet cable and it was all set up. They changed everything, and I didn't expect that. So each week I'm learning a little bit more, getting a little bit more prepared, writing stuff down before I go, all that type of stuff. I want to be more of a positive person when these things go wrong. I struggle with it, but I'm getting there. And it was a good stream, and the team saying that stuff actually like really helped out. So we didn't end up winning, but that one period was so awesome because it was the first home game and the crowd was kind of falling out of it. We're losing 5-0. And then one goal goes in. Okay. A minute goes by, another goal goes in, another minute goes by, another goal goes. Now the crowd's like kind of getting amped. But when we scored the 5th goal, that play, I thought the roof was going to pop off the place. It was awesome. So I got a lot of plans moving forward, but it was cool. And to anybody who went and listened, I really do appreciate it, because I know I didn't say anything to chat, but that's just, I can't. So I'm not, like I have to call the game. But yeah, I really do appreciate it. And yeah, it was awesome. So that was basically my weekend.
Do you have a
Was that.
halftime report or?
Like an intermission?
Yeah.
I want to set one up, but I want to first get down the actual game part first, because there's a few things I want to fix. Number one, I want to get a second microphone so I can get crowd noise, because there was basically none. I didn't even factor that in. I didn't think about that. So it was basically dead silent. You're basically looking at a dead silent screen except when I'm talking. So I want to get a microphone for crowd noise. And then I want to get a few more graphics made, and I want to have like something where it shows all the majors of all the guys there and what they plan on doing afterwards. I want to get like some interviews that I can put on the intermission, and then maybe I try to schedule out an entire like halftime or intermission report where it's just camera on me talking. The part that makes it tough is I want to make sure all that other stuff is done first. Before I do that, because it is just me. It's literally me and my pregnant fiance. She was my camera woman, and we were just back there doing everything. And so it's
You're about
not
to
the
have a
highest
baller
quality.
production.
I'm trying, dude.
You're getting there. Like I think it's, dude. I think it's dope. I think the fact that you're doing all this, and you're basically your own entire production crew, and you're just putting this on.
Yeah,
like the amount of skills and the things that you're learning and the practice you're getting, it's only going to get better and better and better and better. And then I feel like everything that you're learning through that is pretty transferable between like that and what we're doing here.
Yeah, I hope so. Like I don't know if you guys saw, but I made a graphic for like when we score a goal on After Effects where it looks like it's all digital. I just tweeted it out, but it was pretty cool. Worked on that for a lot of the week, and then trying to get like different things going. It's going to be fun. I'm going to try to make it the best I can, and I got 30 games to work with. So this is games 2 and 3. I didn't get to broadcast game 3 because I had a baby shower, but games 2 and 3 in the books. I still got 28 plus more to go. So hopefully by the end, it looks like a really nice, solid production all the way through. And some of those rinks, when we go on the road, I probably won't be able to get it up because their internet is not great. And some of those rinks I've already been to, so I know I'm going to run into problems. But I'll at least have it recorded, and then I can throw it up somewhere. So it'll be a good time. But yeah, I do appreciate everybody checking it out, tuning in. Okay, boys and girls, let's get into some of the news here throughout the Apex Legends world. So kicking it off, we've got some more roster mania stuff here. I think the biggest one, and I called this a few months back, I think. I mentioned something about, not a few months back, a few weeks back, Zainu. Zainu is parting ways with DZ. He released a little bit of a statement, and he kind of went at, I think, some of the people who were assuming things, and he said, don't go after my teammates. So it sounds like they didn't just drop him. It sounded like it was kind of like a mutual decision. So Zainu's moving on from Dark Zero, and he called them my teammates. So I would assume from that, you're thinking they're still probably on good terms. They just needed a change. But this is a big one because obviously they've won a LAN together, and he kind of came in at like a very short notice, first LAN ever, won, and was a pivotal part of that run. So what do we think about Dark Zero heading into this new chapter?
It makes me think because with the 2 weeks ago, I think we were talking about the actual rumors that were going on, and one of them that we thought was kind of crazy was the DZ saying that they were splitting up and then going across different regions. And then we get like a video the next day of Jen Burton saying, "You guys are crazy. Like, that's not happening." And then now, 2 weeks later, Zainu's leaving. So things must have changed if he was telling the truth during that time. But we don't really know if he was telling the truth at all. But
I mean, we have no reason to think that he would not be telling the truth.
right, exactly. So I don't know what happened. If there are some changes, dude, it feels okay. Yes, they split on good terms, and he also called them my teammates. So it makes me think that either Jin Burton or Zero or both are going back to Apex South. That is like my gut feeling and guess. Not sure, but it doesn't make sense to drop Zainu. But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes that we don't know about right now. But it's going to be, I mean, Zainu's now, I mean, he's not, I don't know if you can say he's guild, but maybe he kind of is because he's won a LAN before. But it's like, he's now a super high priority free agent now. And I don't know. E, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it appears to be, from like my perspective, that it's like a good choice. Obviously, there's definitely like the things that are going on that we don't know about. But as like a player, I don't see any reason why Zainu deserved to get dropped, but we will see. I definitely think that DZ is going to be probably like, without a doubt, the number one spot that everybody is wanting to go to on the free agent scene, because you'd be silly not to, with how much like talent and experience is on that team. But Zainu's definitely going to end up in a good place, and yeah, I think things are going to work out for DZ. So hopefully, wishing the best to both of them as they move forward.
Yeah, and then after this was something that I thought was interesting. After Zainu tweeted out the LFT, Imperial Hal tweeted at him underneath that tweet and said, "Kid still had heart even within the last 4 games of losers bracket and champs when games weren't going well. New guy on the team, rookie, still had passion until the last game was done. Watch the VODs. I don't need to say anything else." So I don't know if that was like a mini shot at the rest of DZ, or if it was just like a, hey, this guy's like a really solid pickup for your team. Like he had the passion the entire time. Keep a close eye on where he goes and what he does. Either way, for Zainu, it's got to feel good to get that kind of praise from the best. So that's going to be an interesting situation. I would kind of think they would, if he's speaking this way, I lean with Finn on them potentially going back to APAC South. And I haven't heard any rumors. I just see tweets that are kind of interesting. But I saw some people tweeting about Waltzy potentially filling that. I just don't know if he would ever leave Moist, you know?
Yeah, he loves that org, but it's also like everybody in that region has a mutual respect for Zero. So I think he probably would, right? I don't know. It's hard. Plus, he's been friends and teammates with Jin Burton all the way back to console days in 2019. So, like, their roots go way, way back. I will say this: they didn't do well at champs. They didn't make it to finals. Could that be a big reason why they are splitting?
Oh, I mean, I would say
it
that's
has
the
to
entire
be.
reason.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say
I think
that's
it's
gotta
like
be
the
like the
main
entirety
reason.
of the
Yeah.
reason. Is that
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee you that they didn't make finals, and Zero just felt like there had to be a change, and I guess
The odd man out.
that's the one they went with.
Well, yeah, I don't think he's gonna drop Jin Burton. They've been playing together for a long time, so that just leaves Zainu, whoever the third is going to be, as the scapegoat. Like no matter what.
I mean, it could be Zainu, it could literally be anybody, but
That's what I'm saying. It
whoever
doesn't.
it is, it doesn't matter. It's whoever is in that spot for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because now we have a lot of big names right now that are floating out there, whether it be orgs that are looking for a spot or just players that are looking for a spot. And I think Zainu is close to the top of that list with how young he is, how good he is, and what he's accomplished already at this point. And then you add Dark Zero into that as well. It's just there's a lot of big names out there, and this adds to it. Moving on
Hold
from
on real quick.
Dark Zero. Oh,
I have
go
a
ahead.
question for y'all. Who is more valuable to you? Who would you pick up if you could, Zainu or Guild?
Probably go Guild.
But why? What about you, E?
I don't know.
One more time.
Would you pick up Zainu or Guild?
I think I'm going with Zainu.
Why it went Guild?
I think I go Guild because I think with Guild it just wasn't a good fit, and we saw what he could do before, and so I don't know. Damn, I don't know. Might just be a preference thing.
The reason why this is a difficult question is because we know Guild has the potential to win a LAN, but Zainu did win a LAN. But you're also got to think how much of that is IGL diff.
Just the fact that he
IGL
was,
diff,
yeah, playing with the DZ.
yeah.
I mean, I think Zainu's an incredible player, and he showed that with DZ, and he showed that like playing Seer. Like this man was on Seer, and he was still frying and cooking, and just absolutely making plays. And so, yeah, I know, and absolutely no disrespect to Guild, he's a phenomenal player, but I would definitely lean towards Zainu.
I don't know.
Guild does have that good. He has that clutch gene though. Sometimes when he's in that 1v1 situation, I feel like he's going to get that a lot of the time.
I think it depends.
But also,
Dude.
Didn't go well.
If you told
this
me
last run,
if you told me the IGL that Zainu would land, like if you told me what each team, like who they end up with as IGL, I could then tell you what I think. You know what's crazy? Technically, somebody could have Zainu and Guild now.
that would be insane. You not even having to make a pick, you just get both of them.
What if you just got both? Like they're both
I guess
on the
it
market.
also matters. Like, has the controller been dropped or not? That plays a big factor to me. And how high up was the controller dropped?
No
that's
food
a
around
question.
it either.
Yeah. That definitely plays a part. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. We're gonna learn a lot about both of these guys this upcoming season, I think.
For sure. Dude, one thing one person who was absolutely stoked during this roster mania is that man Tech. Because I would say that right now, during these days, is probably like the least chance he has of getting his rollers poached, simply due to just the amount of like sheer raw roller talent on the free agent market.
Yeah. It's a good point. He's playing with Lux and
Zapto.
Yep. Seems like that team's sticking together for a bit, but unless
but Tech did tweet out a very what could be considered very funny meme of it being a scene from I forget which Marvel one it was, but it was Thanos was saying like, after all this, like, back to me, and and so teasing out a potential Zainu back to me, but I just don't see that happening.
I think Zainu's stock is too high for him to go to Tech, unfortunately.
Yeah, 100%. And Tech, But I mean, you got to respect the impression game.
Absolutely.
All right. The next big bit of news here is probably KCP releasing their roster and leaving Apex. So another organization leaves Apex. Never a good thing to see. But there has been some positive signs from people who have been on the show before, minus Tempo, who talked a lot about in his interview that we have on the show. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. I'm blanking on which number it was, but just scroll down and you'll be able to find it. Talked a lot about what he believes Apex needs to do and what he's seen other games do in order to help organizations and help an esports scene continue to thrive, with what he thinks that both sides need to do and what he thought Apex wasn't doing and what they need to do. But he did an interview, and it seems like he's leaning a little bit more towards the side of the orgs need to do a little bit more. And he was kind of saying something along the lines of Apex and EA are actually doing a lot behind the scenes that people don't see and don't realize. So I think that's good for our scene. Also, I think that we do have to remember that esports orgs and just esports in general right now, with how things have been going recently, hasn't been like the greatest run they've ever had, to say the least. So it could go both ways a little bit, but he did go on. What was the interview with? Was it with who was it? Let me see. I feel like it was with J Mails.
Yeah, J Mills, I think.
Yeah, so he went on and talked. Yeah. So this tweet comes from J. I don't know how to say it, but I believe it's Mails at JMEYELS. Despite all the hate Apex has received on the lack of support by EA and many teams leaving the scene, Minus Tempo reveals his optimism for not only upcoming year 4, but also that EA is realizing maybe they should do a little bit more. So it's out there. Like, I think now these types of things are good. When we look at that, we say, hey, like, they're realizing, they're noticing it. I think a few weeks ago I was wondering, how closely do they pay attention? We don't really know because we're not there. We're not behind the scenes. We don't know for sure, but that's a good sign. So hopefully that continues throughout. And but anyway, we did lose an org in KCP, Kansas City Pioneers, and the roster as well. Your guys' thoughts on the roster move?
So Zane and Serdell already LFT, like that's for sure. They already left, didn't matter. It was really coming down to what Nasky was kind of wanting to do, because it seemed like KCP was kind of on board with whatever Nasky was wanting to do. But I think they may have pulled out of that situation, which kind of left Nasky in a weird spot. I think Nasky probably has a team that he wanted, but he wanted them to also be signed. But since now there's no organization for him to be signed, them to be signed with, they're probably looking for org. But I did see him say LFT, so he might actually still be looking for a team now. It might be one of those situations where you're talking to two people and you're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna team with an organization that's on our that's gonna back us, but we don't. But now that the org backed out, that the other people are less inclined to stay with Nasky, or it would have been whoever. The scenario happens all the time with people that have a backing of an org, but then the org backs out for last second, and now those options become. There's a lot more options. People don't feel nearly as forced to stay with those people. So that could have been that type of case. I don't really know. That's just going to come with time, but we know that Nasky's going to end up having some really solid people on the team, so I'm not really too worried about it. But yeah, that is my thoughts on the whole KCP thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fenn pretty much covered it as much as anybody could. It's tough to see, and we'll see if this. So, did KCP confirm that they're backing out of Apex, or that they're just dropping their team?
I'm pretty sure it said they were dropping out of Apex. I can check.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're out of Apex. I'm like
okay,
almost for sure.
So that's another org, and so you hate to see it, but I still don't think it's. I mean, as we talked about earlier, I don't think it's the end or like anywhere close to it.
Let me double check. But I'm almost positive. Give me one moment. They put out a graphic. So yeah, they said we've made the incredibly difficult decision to leave Apex Legends, not just the team. So
Tragic. I mean, but it does happen, and so I'm sure this is going to be part of the weathering of the storm. And we'll see. I mean, all of those players should have bright futures ahead of them. Nasky definitely, I would say, is known for having one of the best energies in Apex, and so I'm going to be excited to see where he ends up and who ends up squatting up with. And I think it could be really interesting to see if we see Zane and Mandy team up at all and form a power team there, because I don't know if the team of Graceful, Mandy, and who was it? Best Russian player.
Hardeki?
Hardeki, yeah. Because I don't think that they're as a set team as people once thought they were. So I think those are all people that we can wait and see what the official deal is with all that. Dude, it's a wild time in Apex. It is an absolute wild time. I think we're going to see a lot of, I mean, clearly we're going to be seeing a lot more free agent teams. And so hopefully with there just being significant more free agency, I do think that it's going to be more passionate, right? Because like if you're a free agent team, you're going to be absolutely putting everything you have into like making it happen and like getting signed. And that's a big motivator for a substantial lot of people. I mean, a substantial amount of people. And I think we're going to see people putting in more effort, putting in more hours. And hopefully with all of it, and especially all this free agent drama, we can get some more attention and have a good year 4.
Last little nugget of news, at least from me, that I can see, LCQ team DNO, they're letting go of, I believe it was Senox. So Senox is gone, and
I think he said
Hill.
he's officially LF looking for one with Crust. I think I'm pretty sure they're like teaming together. They were longtime teammates on Sentinels a long time ago, and they're looking for one. I'm pretty sure. And so right now, I think they're trying out for Cody. Trying out Cody right now, but supposedly Sinox said, "Hey, we're scrimming with whoever right now, so it doesn't really matter. Like we're just kind of testing out a bunch of different thirds." So they said that they won't know for a bit. So I just saw Cody might have been one of those people that they were trying out during scrims not too long ago.
Yep, and that basically rounds out. Unless you guys got anything else that that I didn't see, that kind of basically rounds it out.
Bait, potential bait,
dude. I never know what he's doing. Like at first, I thought it was real. Then I'm like, wait, there's no way. He's always just baiting all the time, and I never know what he's doing.
Yeah,
I never get what he's doing ever. So that was bait then.
I don't know. I'm guessing it's bait. I don't.
Because it sounded serious. That was the only thing that...
Yeah. I mean, for those that don't know, Design tweeted out the GIF of the contract being signed, which is a normal thing for whenever people get signed to teams and orgs. But we don't know if he's just trolling or not. Like, we have no clue. Enemy didn't put out one. That being said, Enemy just had heart surgery. We are very glad to hear that he is doing well. He had an emergency heart surgery, and his life was saved, and he's well recovering, which is fantastic. That might be a big reason why he hasn't signed anything, but a lot of people are speculating it's 100 Thieves, of course. I was one of those people. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, gotta be. But we'll see. I did see Design absolutely rage face whenever he was...
Yeah, does anybody I haven't seen the clip or anything.
It's pretty funny.
Because I just... Like, what happened?
He just rages, dude. It's just funny because Design is playing with Verhulst, who just got the most positive player of the year, and then plays scrims because he was filling in for Enemy with Design, who arguably might be the he's the villain. Like, he's a villain of Apex, and so he rages face. It's just funny. The coincidence. One of the top comments I saw was, man, Hal just told Evan to go on that team and just ruin it from the inside out, and he did a good job, which is so funny.
Yeah, like it's always hard to tell, and maybe now that I'm reading it now, like you can definitely tell it's bait. But when you read it in the moment, you're just like, wait, what? And it just threw me for a loop. But he basically said, I'd like to announce I'm LFT for year 4 after Rage quitting and Nicewig subbing in and instantly winning with Timmy. They realized how replaceable I was, feeling super passionate and hyped to keep playing though. Definitely bait. But when I first read it, I just saw the letters L, F, and T, and I was like, okay. And I think I stopped reading after that because this is clearly bait. Yeah, so he did sign. We would assume that team stays together. They got 4th place. They got to be staying together. So is what it is. They also didn't do us a whole lot of favors by when Sweet had announced he was LFT, that instantly Timmy put check DMs or something like that right after. So they have been this entire process has been like, what are they doing? I don't understand what any of them are doing at all. Enemy was also baiting a little bit for a little. This whole team, they're
trolls, dude. They're just trolling and farming impressions.
They're master baiters. They're just so good at baiting. That's what they do, and they're beautiful at it. So is what it is. But yeah, I would assume it's 100 Thieves. It's got to be. All right, but yes, that should just about do it for all of the Roster Mania stuff. All of it is out of the way. We are good. And then we probably expect some more coming here in the next few weeks. It's just going to get crazier. It always does. But that should just about do it. Let's move on into the tier list here. Now, I think we're doing a tier list on the legends as they stand currently, correct? Is that what we're doing?
I'm so annoyed that I was on mute while trying to share my screen. So what I wanted to do, and I was going to ask you, I think this would be a perfect time to go over ranked meta right now, through and through, and kind of what a little bit of mixture of thrown into of what we're seeing in comp as well. But I thought it'd be fun if we did that. So hold on, let's see. Chrome tab. Let's do here. We'll go here. Can y'all see this? Sharing my screen. Is it sharing on Riverside as well? Yeah, it does look like it is.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I would love, and Wyatt, your opinion matters just as much as Enoch's, right? Okay. Even though, what rank are you right now currently, Wyatt?
Dude, I don't even know. I really honestly don't play ranked. Right now, they need to fix the matchmaking before I would get in there, because it just feels like I'm getting dominated at all moments in time. But I'm pretty sure I'm silver 2, I think.
Well, your opinion matters just as much as Enoch. Enoch, what rank are you right now?
I believe I have fallen to, I got it right in front of me. I am currently number 39
in the world.
After I think I peaked at like number 26.
Okay, so me and Enoch are pretty close.
Pretty close.
So our opinion should be close.
Yeah. And
everybody's entitled to their own perception.
And it's great because I haven't played ranked at all, and I pretty much am at gold 2. So my opinion also matters just as much as Enoch. So this is good.
And the fact that Fenn's like one of the cleanest, he's one of the best playtesters we have, and now he's out here telling us he's a gold 2 gamer.
Hey, hold on. All I said was I just don't play ranked. I just don't play ranked. That's it.
That's just tough to see.
I just didn't play ranked this split or this season. That's it. I've enjoyed mixtape. I'm enjoying mixtape. All right, here we go. We're gonna start with Ash. Where are we putting Ash in ranked? She plays
F.
F. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I actually really, I don't know. She needs a lot for me.
Wait, hold on. I guess I should say it. We got S, A, B, C, D. I'm probably gonna get rid of E. So it's gonna go S, A, B, C, D. The tier list rankings.
Yeah, we're good with that.
So Ash, we want where?
I would say like D
C
or
or D.
C.
C or D.
Should we
I'm
be
actually
like
gonna
bottom
throw.
of C or...
I'm gonna go a lot of bottom of C, top of D. Ballistic. I'm gonna super.
You have a take on this one.
I'm so biased.
Yeah, you're kind of you have a twist. I think majority of people would put him D tier, but I think you think he's like a sleeper A.
I think he's a low tier A, high tier B.
Listen, throw it up there.
I'd be okay putting him in B.
Okay, I'm okay with that compromise. Bang. It's got to be S, right?
S.
S,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bang's S tier. Bloodhound.
S.
A.
Ranked is
Okay.
S or A. I don't know.
I think it's S.
S, really?
I mean, we can put A if we just want to keep.
How, do
If we
you
wanna-
do you
I
run a
mean,
lot
it-
of blood
The
comps?
only reason I don't think that you would put, the only way that you're not putting Hound in S tier is if S tier is exclusive for Bang and Cat.
Yeah. Then we're gonna probably do it A then. I'd say.
Yeah.
I think Cat low key might be the best legend in the game.
S.
I think
100%.
so.
It's not close.
Yeah.
I think Cat is the
It's not
best
even close.
legend in the game.
Which I just want to say, now that Horizon has gotten like a decent nerf, people are still using Horizon, but a decent nerf, I don't mind Catalyst being good. Like I know we already had this conversation a few episodes ago, but especially without like that crutch of having the Horizon there all the time, I feel like a good cat is just a good cat, and it's not that bad. It reminds me of like the Gibby days. If you have a good Gibby, it's just a good Gibby, you know?
I mean, the visual end game of all of the different walls.
In
Is a little-
smokes.
Yeah, and smokes. You're just wall and smoke. And you have no way to get out of
If
it.
you don't have a digi, dude, it's kind of chaotic.
Dude, the Digi's best item in the game. Not even close.
Yeah, I think I gotta agree with
Nah.
you.
Do you think they keep it in for year 4?
They might need to change it. They might need to tweak it in the way that it would show, like similar to like a Vantage laser or a Rampart alt, that you would get like a laser of like, oh, I'm being
Okay.
looked at by a Digi.
I was thinking
Okay.
this. You ready? I was thinking more so, what if Digis would do like, okay, so say I'm shooting, like I'm looking down sight, and it does a little scan, but then it has to reset the scan and then come back. So like you're still getting the info, but you're not getting insta feedback.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way you got to do it.
That's in my opinion. I'm thinking like, is that the only way that can? I don't know. Either that, or you got to figure out like bang smokes and like all the smokes that's in the game or visual effects. But I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. E. Caustic, and Wyatt. Sorry, I know you.
B? Would I be crazy to say that?
Nah, I put him B.
I think in World's Edge he's really good. I think in KC he's really good. I do
Yeah,
not
that's why I
see
put him B.
Caustic on Olympus.
I mean, I would say in this map rotation, I would say that you could argue that he's an A tier.
Like low tier A. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could be low tier A. And this, given this specific rank system, I mean, like ranked maps, because I think Caustic is way worse on Broken Moon and
Yep.
Storm Point.
Yep. Because it's much more big and wide open. That's why I don't think he's good on Olympus.
I'm good with having him top A. I mean top of B.
Yeah, that's what I think. I can't. Yeah. So crypto.
This one I can
D.
never get a pulse on, because when I play with cryptos in my level, they're playing a video game within a video game and they never leave and they're just sitting there.
D.
But you guys probably play with much better players who utilize the character correctly. So I would honestly say D for my purposes, but I know used correctly, he is better than that.
E, where you at? You're on B. You're on B. I would put him in C tier personally.
No, I said D tier.
Oh, D. I thought you said B. I would put him in C, like low C, high D. We can put.
Okay, so I'm not that far off
No,
from what
you're
I thought.
not.
Because I was going to
Not
say D.
in ranked. I'm not talking comp. But in comp, he's a very niche pick, I would say. But I'm okay with putting him in D for ranked tier list. What about Fusey?
A.
Where are you at, E?
I would put him A.
I
I'm
would
good
put
with
him at
that.
A as well.
It
Middle
does
of
kind
A.
of depend
He's
on
just
which
annoying.
map, though.
Just an absolute menace.
He's
I think
such
the
a
map
rat.
kind of he's like map dependent. I feel like sometimes is that
and
crazy
play
to say?
style dependent too. Like I agree with you. Like some maps, I think he's super good, especially it's like certain POIs or certain end zones. But dude, a Fuse late game will ruin your life and ruin your day. So, I'm okay with putting Fuse like middle of A here. I don't want to put him at top A, but I feel pretty good about that. What about Gibby and ranked?
A.
Wow, A's pushing it for me, I think.
That ult comes back pretty consistently. Bubbles there. I would say A. But there's so many other people still out there. Let me look at this list. No, I think he's A. I can't think of too many people I would
Dude.
want more than him, other than the people who are already above him.
Dude, I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking I think he's B, top of B.
It's close for
okay.
sure.
So I guess my thought process, Enoch, would you rather have a Gibby on your team or a Caustic on your team? He's thinking.
A Gibby. Because that way I can while out and play super aggro and then get rest in the bubble.
Dude. Yeah, and just you're literally so dependent on the Gibby. Be like, save me. Throw the bubble.
I'm just saying to be nice. I mean, I'm like a pretty aggro.
All right, fine. We'll put him at low tier A. I'm okay with compromising there. What about Horizon? I'm gonna put it at A.
I would say top A.
Yeah, she's up there.
I would say top A above Hound.
Yeah, I'd agree. Wyatt?
Yeah.
But not S anymore though. Like
She's not us.
Lifeline?
S.
Okay.
C.
We're close.
I would rather have a Lifeline on my team than an Ash.
Same. Also, they still haven't fixed Ash's heirloom, so just put her in D. Honestly,
B.
Loba. I mean, I think the value of Loba is so much higher in rank than ever in comp. Like, of course.
See, I get that. I feel you, but also, I think having in a straight up 3v3 fight, having a Bang Cat Horizon Blood use Gibby, like any of those is just way better in a fight.
That's what I just said. I wouldn't ever. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't ever put Loba's this high, but this is because we're talking about a ranked play, like a ranked tier list. Not like I would have Loba at C tier or low B as like a niche pick, because I don't think Loba provides enough in a fight that you would need, and that's why she's pretty much solely on comps that are zone dependent, because people give up loot so that you can get loot with Loba later on and be able to survive. So,
I feel like the main reason that people play Loba is just simply because they want to have a support character.
100%, and that's what I'm saying.
Crafting banners,
right? And Loba's like one of the best at getting out of bad situations with her tactical. That's the reason why people play Loba, is to have that second chance.
I know, but there's just I remember when that change was made and I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, this is dope. But I do think that there's something to be said about having the play style of having the support legend and then just always making the decision that you're going to play for the reset.
Yeah.
and zone.
There's like a mental to
versus
it. Yeah.
versus the we're gonna clutch up this 2v3. I'm gonna clutch this 1v2. I'm gonna go for the 1v3. Like if you have a Loba on the team, you just simply don't make those plays. But if you have like any of the people above, or even any of the people below, you're gonna be more likely to make those aggressive. Like, oh, we just shit on this team 2v3. We have to.
Yeah.
And then you just do it.
Yeah.
But like you just don't get those moments nearly as much if you have a support player.
I'd agree with that. All right, Maggie.
C.
Top of C or bottom of B.
I'm going
So probably like top C.
Yeah. Mirage.
1v1.
I high-key think that Mirage is better than Loba.
Really?
High-key.
Dude, that is insane.
100%.
You just said that.
I mean, I also play with whenever I play with like Addy Avant, and that dude is the absolute just best Mirage player in the world, no doubt. ADIUVANT, I think. I'm pretty sure I've talked about him on the podcast already.
You have, I think, but I don't. Here's my thing.
Yeah,
it's such a niche pick that I think it's C.
You get the resets. You get. I mean, I just think the ultimate is the freest 1v1, and then you can get reses with the. I mean, there's just no way that he's. But no, I legitimately think that he's better than Loba, 100%.
But do you?
I think if people really learned how to play Mirage better, he would like.
This is across the board a normal person. Like this is across the board, not the best Mirage ever.
I know, but I think the average person can still utilize the Mirage to win a 1v1, almost guaranteed.
For sure, that's his best part of his kit is to win a 1v1.
Which gives you more. But and he can get out and escape with that same ult if he needs to. So he has the get out support play that you're giving Loba credit for. And I just think up against Loba, he's better.
Wow. So you're arguing for him to be in B tier.
I mean, I think that Loba definitely shouldn't be top of B, IMO. And also that Mirage should be ahead of Loba wherever. I mean, but if you guys disagree with me, you guys have the 2v3.
What about, I know.
I mean, like you guys have the 2v1. It just depends on if I can convince you if Mirage is better. And if you're still Team Loba, hey, I will concede to the majority.
So
on the podcast,
I always go back to just things that I know. Like I said with my crypto, where any crypto I play with, they're playing a whole different game than me, and they're across the map, just still sitting inside their drone doing nothing. Same thing goes for Mirage, except it's not like a random person. It's my friend Brian, who insists that he is a good Mirage. He thinks he is the guy that you were talking about, Enoch, but he's not. And it drives me batty. It drives me up the wall. He plays Mirage in moments where I really need him to play any other legend, and he'll do the Mirage and will die and will suck. So I naturally just look at Mirage and I just get pissed off. So I would say lower, just from the experiences that I have.
You're putting him in D too.
But I would say D, but also I get where he's coming from, because we've talked about it before. If there was like a solos game mode, is there any legend you'd rather have than Mirage? Like he's so good.
He's up there,
just like in those 1v1 battles. So I can see where he would be played, but yeah, I'd probably have him down, like C-ish.
That's what I'm saying. I am like on the firm C train.
I don't think he's totally useless,
Which is
though,
fine,
like he used to be.
That's great. I think he'll land C because Wyatt's thinking D and Enoch's thinking B, and I think he's in C. So let's just keep him there. That's a good compromise, I think. All right, Newcastle. The only person I see playing Newcastle right now, E, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is Pooch. Pooch is the only.
There's a few others.
I know, but Pooch is like the main one that I know that is like.
Taxi on the right squad. He'll wipe out the castle.
Like,
Crazy.
I'm okay with it being B because it's a pretty niche pick, but it works.
I'm good with B.
Wyatt?
Yeah, I'm good with B.
Okay, perfect.
Do
Octane.
you guys feel like he's sorry? One note though. Do you guys feel like he's a little clunky on controller, like the
He is.
tactical?
Very clunky.
Yeah, he's 100% better as an MK legend. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Just a little clunky is all. But yeah, I like him.
He's hard to perform at a high level on roller, essentially, is what you're saying, and I couldn't agree more. He's just hard to play. There's also like a lot of button mashing, which there's a lot of things that over you got to think about. Like, okay, if you got to throw it on your ult, you got to res. But before you res, you got to throw it on your tactical. Make sure that your tactical is facing the right direction. Now be looking this way or this way. Just a lot of stuff going on your screen at the same time. A lot of buttons overlap in that you have to use an interact to do it. And so, yes, I'd agree. It is a little clunky on roller. So glad we're all on the same page there. What about Octane? I know where I think he's at for me.
Low B.
I was going to go C.
Wow. Okay. Low B, C,
You were gonna go
and
D?
I had him in D tier.
So C it is.
See, it is. But I just think, dude, Octane's fine.
We'll see him there.
Like, Octane's fine. He doesn't do anything. I don't know. I never once think, oh, yeah, Octane's providing so much value for our team right now.
Big pads.
Yeah.
Big pads and big movement.
Is it enough?
So that same buddy Brian I brought up, who's just terrible at Mirage, he does have a good mind about the game, and he is pretty smart with some things that he says. And he's always told me that Octane is one of those legends where it's like he has to play off of somebody else to be good. Like during the Revtane meta, like it's not like he can just kind of be good on his own. He would also be like a good solo legend, I think, if there was ever a solos mode. But he pairs better when he's got somebody in the pocket with him. He's not one of those where you kind of just play him as like a regular thing and it works.
He's
so
almost like
the fact.
Oh, go.
No, I was just gonna say the fact that he doesn't really have like that handcuff to help him out makes him drop down significantly lower, I would assume.
Yeah, he feels like a support assault character. Like, I don't. Yeah, but he's like Mirage, in my opinion. They're very similar to me, where you better win your 1v1 with your abilities, because if you don't, you're costing your team. And Octane's a little bit more risky because if you're using your tactical, you're already getting rid of 25 HP. So like you got to be very careful. But I'm glad I'm okay with having him in C. What about Pathfinder?
If I could have it my own way, I would make him S, but that's not the world that we live in.
I know where I would put him. It's kind of wild.
Low
C.
B.
Maybe B. I would go low B. Actually, yeah. Simply because you can use the packages to get around the map well. I would go low B. And in the right hands of like a really good player, I think you can make the argument that he'd be A, but I think the majority of players, and if we're making the majority of the player claim,
Yeah.
the majority of players would not be good Pathfinders.
Yeah, I'm like thinking Mandy. Like Mandy makes it.
Yeah, I mean,
Path
Mandy
like
makes
an S.
Pathfinder look like an S tier
I know.
character,
It's
100%. And
ridiculous. So
but like the average character, like B.
I think I'm in the middle of B, solidified middle of B, a Path.
I like that. I like that spot.
Ooh, okay. This is hard because we're talking ranked specific. How do we feel about Rampart?
Oh man. I feel like she can't go lower than B. Right? Or no?
I'm waiting for Enoch's opinion, and then I'll give mine. So, Wyatt thinks nothing below B.
Like I think she could go low B.
I would go low B.
Like in ranked though.
I mean, the faster walls.
The walls are big.
Dude, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I got convinced. That wasn't a very hard convincing. Like it didn't take
We
very...
didn't say a whole lot, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad we did it.
All right, Revenant.
D.
With the change? You really think D?
He's fun, I guess. He reminds me of like an Octane. Like
Similar,
when they're
yeah.
handcuffed together, they're great. But and like I'm not saying his new change isn't good because he's fun. Like he's very fun. But like in a ranked setting, I don't know.
Dude, in a well-coordinated team, you do not want to go against the Revenant, bro.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest, for ranked, I don't think you can put him anything lower than A. I would put him right after Hound.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Damn.
I'm kind of.
I mean, it's disgusting. It's just so overpowered.
If you catch a Revenant in an ult like with the team, like dude, it's just so bad, man. It's so you can't. It's just you don't win. You just can't win. There's not really a whole lot of scenarios where you.
I mean,
win.
you literally just get jumped on by a guy.
Yeah.
If a Revenant, if like there's like that squad that's just running around killing everybody, right? As in prep lobbies, there's always like that one team. You have a Revenant, and then two other good players come like running at you, and say like one of them is chilling, has a dirty 30. You're like, oh, you say you're on purple armor, and you have a red armor Revenant. You get hit by 2 body shots, dirty 30. You're hit, broken, and then you maybe have time to get your bat off, and you have a 300 HP Revenant who has jumped on your cover, and then you're just
dead.
You're just dead.
Yeah. All right. Why?
And then
I
guess
put
what?
him at middle.
You can do
of A,
damage
but...
to him. You can do damage to him. You can even hit him for like 200.
And then he gets a reset.
What? He still has 75 HP that he gets back immediately to kill the rest of your teammates with and his other teammates. It's just so overpowered.
Wyatt wants him in D though, so we.
No,
have to
I'm not. I don't want him in D.
No,
I think it's a difference.
We said every. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll change his mind.
I think it's the difference of the lobbies because whenever I see a Revenant, he's always by himself, and I feel like it's so easy to kill him because he's always by himself. But I mean, you guys are in a different area where it's much more coordinated, and it like that makes sense. But a lot of times, if I'm playing with the Revenant, he's gone. I can't find him, and if the other team's using one, he's standing by himself. Usually, the teams that I play that are coordinated that are shitting on me aren't using a Rev. They're using like the typical Bang, Cat, Horizon, or Bloodhound.
Yeah,
that's usually what I'm getting. The Revenants are always running around like a chicken with its head cut off by themselves, and I always just fry them real fast. If you got a car and they're just running at you, you get close to dying though, that's for sure. But yeah, I think that's just a difference of lobbies right there. But now that you guys explained it, it makes sense. Like with a coordinated team, especially late with that much health. Yeah,
so dumb, bro. So much HP, 275 HP, bro. If they have red, think about that. I'm gonna cry.
That is insane.
Anyway, okay, Seer. I know where I want him.
Where?
I'm gonna put him in C for me, like low C.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And this is just me being. I don't actually think he's in C. I think actually I do think he's in C, high tier C, low tier B, but I want him there, just for all the disrespect that deservedly so. This character has put so much stress on my life. I want to put Seer in C, but that's me. What about you?
I would just like to leave him off the list from the experiences I've had, but yeah, he fits in C. Like that's fair.
I'm good with it.
All right, Valk in ranked. I don't see that many Valks anymore.
Me neither, because of the balloons.
Evacs. I'm good putting her C.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say I still think she's low tier B though. Like
I'm okay with that.
I think her passive is still good, and like she's still pretty decent in fights. Like she still provides pretty good utility, and then for the people that don't have a redeploy, She's like decent in ranked. Like she really is. Especially on like a reset scenario where you don't have all of your loot and stuff, but you have a Valk, like you're still not screwed into end game if you need to rotate. I don't know. I think she's just like a really good safety net. All right, Vantage. I was so high on this character. I was so high on this character.
D.
What do you think, E?
Yeah, I'm good with D.
Yeah, I'm good with D too. I wish it wasn't the case. I'm so sad. I was hoping the change for her to be able to scan was going to be great, but the character's just, I don't know, needs a rework maybe. I don't know.
I think
only way that
I said with
go
go ahead.
No,
Go.
No.
I was just gonna say the way that Newcastle is clunky to me. I feel the same way with her tactical with the bat. Like it just feels clunky to me on controller. I feel like maybe mouse and keyboard's a little bit easier to do what you want with it. Maybe it's just because I haven't put enough time in with her, but I just feel like she's clunky.
I do wholeheartedly agree with that. I think the only thing that I would really like in order to make Vantage meta, you'd have to make the ultimate just so busted. Like,
and then nobody would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like that's yeah.
So
it would be a tough sell.
Yeah, so I'm okay with Vantage and D. What about Watson and ranked? Not talking comp.
I like Watson a lot. I play her a lot, but also like the S tier legend does everything she does and better.
Well, yeah, I just think it's like the value that you get from Watson is her ulti, and a lot of times in ranked, there's not a whole lot of opportunities where you're like, yeah, I need to throw a gen down, unless you're in late game. But it's just like the way ranked is, man. Watson is just not really the move. Yeah, basically, why would you not run Cat or Rampart?
Even like a Caustic.
Yeah, Caustic too.
Yeah, I mean that one's a toss up, but still, even then, it's like she's just not in her own.
I'm just gonna say
realm.
C though. Like it's not. I mean, if I see a Watson, I'm not like, you know. But I'm also like not threatened really.
Yeah.
All right, last one, guys. Wraith.
This is tough too. If like I said with Pathfinder, if I had my own way, I'd love to see her back in S. That's just not the world we live in. A, you say?
I have low tier A Wraith. Enoch. You know, I'll say this before before you go, E.
I'm with it. I'm good with it.
I'll say this about Wraith. A lot of just good cracked players use Wraith, and so because of that, my view of the legend is probably skewed in that regard because I know that there's just crackheads, wingman users, Volt use like just R99. Like you're probably gonna run to a sweat that's running Wraith if they're playing it, right? So because of that reason, I say low tier A, but that could be some bias.
I like A. I wish we got to see her more. I wish more people were playing her. I wish there was a reason to play her a little bit more, but there's just so many different legends, and I feel like the composition right now just doesn't really call for her. But that's another good solo legend. I was mentioning like legends who would you rather play solo? I feel like Wraith, Octane, and Mirage are all like up there. And she would probably be number one, to be honest.
So
but
good.
yeah, she's very good, and I one day I want to see her back. I would love to see her back in the in ALGS one day, like consistent, every team running her. I think it'd be fun.
Yep. Y'all feel good about this tier list?
I do.
I feel pretty good about it.
The only ones I'm weird on are Ballistic and Mirage. Those are the only ones I'm kind of like iffy on.
Yeah.
But the Ballistic,
wait, hold on. What did
give,
y'all want on Ballistic? If y'all
I think we put him bottom of B.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more
If
sense.
you want him in
That
C,
feels
I'll
way
do
better.
it.
No, I mean I'm out of respect for you. I'm good with the B.
I like it.
I just
I
think
like it better
there's
like
a lot
that.
of untapped potential with Ballistic that no one's really surfaced
No,
yet.
I think that if you played him with like repeater 9 or repeater car, and then you every single time had a rampage as your ultimate gun and like as your sling weapon, not even saying that like you need to be using that every single fight and every single moment you can, because I think a lot of players play ballistic and they think, oh, I have to use
my
the sling weapon
Yep.
because it's gold. But if you just, I think having a rampage on you at all times is just the only way that you can really utilize ballistic to max potential, because it just gives him an entirely just another ability of being able to shoot through doors,
Yeah.
and you can shoot through cover. You can, it adds a whole level, a whole nother dimension that there's just no other gun that even comes close. And so I used to play ballistic and play like double nines because I was like, oh, you have a gold 9. But with how fast the reload is, if you have like a purple or a blue Mag 9, it just doesn't even really matter because of how fast you're reloading. You don't even need to swap. It's not even like you need to go from like SMG to SMG because the reload's so fast. And so having a rampage and being able to always shoot down, and the other team never knowing really that you're about to shoot down their door because you're not going to be using that unslinged rampage. You're just going to be shooting at them from afar, and they're going to be like, oh, I can heal on this door. I get this bat off, and then just boom, dead.
You win the fight.
And you just wait because you're going to catch them off guard because they're not going to expect it.
Yeah. I feel comfortable with that. I think it's a good analysis too. All right. That was fun.
I mean, ballistic perma rampage is actually, I think, like fairly OP, especially in cat meta. Like you literally just run. When I come back, maybe I just need to be that guy, and I just need to put everybody onto like guys like ballistic with the rampage is how you just fight cats.
Just step up to the plate, be the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude. I'm just gonna say it. I've been a ballistic absolute fiend for a while. I still think he just hasn't.
I'm gonna tell everybody you doubted me. I'm gonna say Finn never thought I'd be able to.
Imagine.
It's kind of crazy though. He's the legend that immediately, I don't think I've ever seen a legend fall off the second the season ended. You just never saw one ever again. Like I have not seen a ballistic ever again. And like with other legends that are what I would call forgettable, you still see them all the time. Like I still see Vantages all the time. I still see Cryptos and all that stuff, Mirages, all that. I don't see Ballistics anywhere. It's almost like he fell off the face of the game right after his season ended, which is crazy because he does have an interesting, like he's interesting and it can be a very good could be a very good pick. But yeah, it does feel like I forget that he's a legend all the time, which is sad. He's just an old, forgettable man.
I mean, he is. I know. It's just sad because I want him
but
to be.
But he's got the sickest hairdo for an old man.
I think the biggest issue, and this goes down to just kind of how the ecosystem is with the game. It requires he requires teamwork to get the most out of the kit. So I think because of that, a lot of people don't like playing him because he's kind of hard to run solo. It's like a Gibby, dude. Like no one's running Gibby. So like if you're playing solo queue, no one's really running Gibby unless you're psycho. You know, like you're an actual psychopath and that's like your hardcore main. But a lot of people are just like not running Gibby unless you're in a coordinated team because he feels frustrating to play as. Kind of similar to Ballistic. At least you have a little bit more like 1v2, 1v3 potential when you're in ulti. But I just think, man, that ultimate pair, like if you can just death ball so quick and then win a fight. But
yeah, and that's what people were doing during his season. And then it was like the season ended and everybody was like, never mind. But he did get kind of like nerfed pretty heavily at the end of his season. But yeah, Enoch might be the first ballistic out there. You might see him running around.
No, that man's
Rampaged
tagline.
up.
I would never be able to consider myself the first Ballistic, because that man Sangline, he has like over 10K kills on Ballistic, and I'm pretty sure all of them are in ranked.
That's insane. That's insane. Yeah. Okay. Well, either way, doesn't.
So Sang Apex, shout him out, man. That's another shout out. We're just shouting out.
We're just shouting everybody out.
Let's go.
We're just shouting everybody out. Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gents, that should just about do it for the opening part of the show. We're going to send it on down to our interview. And then on the other side, we'll have a quick announcement and then round it out with the heart to heart and send you guys on the rest of your week. Let's get it. All right. Here we are, ladies and gents, with E8's very own Shooby. Shoob, thanks for hopping on, man. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Could be better.
Good, man. Good. Well, actually, not. What do you mean? Everything all good?
Yeah, everything's good. Just the Apex, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think we've heard that answer a few times. That's just part of the game. This is one of the few times where we actually have a lot of different stuff we can talk about, because before we had even clicked the record button, we had like 7 topics to talk about with you already. I think the first one we should go into is, it's not very often that you talk to the #1 ranked Apex player in the world, because it's just such a hard thing to do at any specific time. So let's get into the grind a little bit, man. How's it been going for you? Like, how's the mentals? How's your diet? How is everything else? Your sleep schedule? How are you feeling?
I still get like normal healthy sleep, like 8 to 10 hours. That's the one thing I'll never try to like lose out on, because like I know that if I'm healthy, I'm just gonna be like shooting better than anybody else in my lobby and all that. And then, you know,
We gotta get off the Taco Bell. We gotta get off the Taco
Yeah,
Bell.
the
If we're
Taco
saying
Bell,
we want to be healthy, come on now.
Yeah. The Taco Bell gotta go, but like,
Yeah, but that's definitely an aspect of it too. Is just the dieting and stuff. He mentioned Taco Bell. Is that something that's going on crazy right now? We got a lot of Taco Bell getting ordered.
I would say like 3-4 times in like a week. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like horrible. But
it's not terrible.
It could be worse. It could be worse.
It could be way worse. It could be way worse.
Are you a
what
Baja
was the
Blast
first
enthusiast?
Oh, sorry.
Oh hell yeah, Baja Blast is just like my brand, man.
Fen is just hard vibing with you
I
right
have
now.
like an emote on my Twitch still, even though I haven't streamed in forever, and it's a Baja Blast on it. So I just want you to know we're boys for that, me and Shoob.
Hell yeah.
No, it's that's definitely one aspect of it, and it's. I mean, what kind of went into your decision in wanting to go #1? I mean, obviously it's a big commitment, and a lot of people try to go for it. What was your initial feeling of like, I want to go for this? What made you kind of have that desire to do it? And then along the way, what kept you motivated throughout trying to keep that #1 spot?
Well, I was teaming with Madness and Pow Pow at the time, and like I would always just have like the most average stream of like 4 to 6 hours, and like I wouldn't pull in too many viewers, and I was just like sick of just playing every day to be masters, and I was like, you know, I just needed a change, so I decided to talk to Chaotic and them, and like they ended up bringing me over to sign me, and then they wanted to play ranked day 1, and I was like, I'm so down, like, are we gonna grind 1, 2, and 3 pred? And they're like, hell yeah. And then we played and all that, and we ended up getting it, but Zach was supposed to keep it, and I was like, all right, I'll play with him every single day, 20 hours a day, so he can hold it, because like I'd rather him have it, because I'll still get like almost the same for being #2 for #1 for my channel. And then he ended up going on a vacation. I was like, this is my chance now to like build my channel, build my brand, and just like get my name out there as much as I can. And so I just dropped everything IRL and was like, I'm gonna play 20 hours a day until I'm like safely in #1, because like I just really I live in a shitty area too, so I just want to just get as much as I can from this.
What's the lead looking like right now? Because I know at one point you had like an 18K.
I think it's 26K, I think now, something like that.
That's sturdy. That's a sturdy.
Like,
that's definitely like a couple days off of chilling if you ever wanted to. But then also like I totally understand like you want to get as much out of it as you can and just hitting the grind as much as possible, because streaming with #1 is just, it changes things for sure.
Okay, so one of the things I want to get into, we talked about it a little bit, but it's funny because you started on console as a lot of the guys now in Pro League have that are roller players. We discussed a little bit of like you and your friends somehow made it into like the early console like super sweat lobbies, and so I I
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask like, did you do that on purpose? And then two, like do you have any like favorite memories from the console days? Because in my opinion, for me, that's like living in the glory days. Of course, you reminisce in it,
Oh yeah.
but since you were kind of on that second wave of console absolute fiends that came over, what were your thoughts about like initially like the original people like Naughty and like design and stuff like that?
I was definitely pretty scared of like, especially when they were all on console, and I would just knowingly just I would get in their lobby and ranked, being like diamond. I was like pretty scared because it's like early seasons. I felt like I wasn't good at the game. I didn't have any plans on like making this like my like future or anything. I kind of played it casually because I was still like Fortnite like wannabe pro, but that didn't work out. And like, I mean, I looked up to a lot of people. I used to everybody that I used to like I play with now. Like I used to watch them 24/7 on Twitch, and it's just like blows my mind. You know, I still think that like they're some of the greatest players in this game still when they want to be, for sure.
That's beautiful, dude. Can you talk about like the transition actually from going to console to from console to PC? Like, because that's kind of a hard transition, especially because you had a lot of kills, you had a lot of success in ranked, I believe, on
Mm-hmm.
console, and then making that switch. How was that for you in that transition? Did you feel welcome? Did you feel like, yeah, I can do this, I can compete with the best?
I knew I wanted to switch to play with Chaotic because me and him were just really good together, like as a duo. That's who I switched with season 12. And like honestly, playing the first like day or two of ranked, I was like, wait, these people are pro players? Like kind of like feed into like a little ego that I was building up. And then like I started getting hate for the whole Bangalore thing and all that, and I was just like, damn, maybe I just don't belong here. But like I was like, I'm just getting, my Twitch is getting spoiled for it, so I was like, why not stay on here?
Okay, so I was gonna save it, and I think we were gonna save it, but I think you brought it up. We got to talk about it. Oh my gosh, your name got brought up so much on this first. I mean, obviously we know Shiv. Like Shiv's like that guy for Bang. Like he's the Bang father, is what I call him. But I
Mm-hmm.
would say you are his, apprentice, because you are the person that I think of whenever people were talking about Bangalore and how strong Bangalore could be. And Enoch mentioned it off air, but you are pretty probably the reason why aim assist and like through smoke is like completely nerfed, and like a large
Mm-hmm.
reason why people did not like Bangalore and console and roller players combined. So can you talk about your impact using Bangalore on the meta back then, and honestly how it bleeds into to now, how Bang's one of the most picked legends?
Well, playing on console, like I played her since day one. One of my IRL friends was like, I was switching over to Fortnite. I didn't know who to play. I was like, I tried Gibby out, just didn't like him. He was just like a big legend. And then I tried out Bangalore, and I just like clicked with her. I liked her speed boost and everything. I liked the way I can like play her smokes and like slide in and out of it. So I just like learned her every day. I was never the person to like research tips on how to play her. I kind of just wanted to play her my own way. And like I found success in like early seasons of ranked. Like I was able to just 1v3 like pros like it was like nothing. Well, like people that are pros now, but like were on console back then. And I just was like, this is my character for ranked and like comp if I ever get into it. And I mean, a lot of the players that switch over now, they used to run into me all the time doing the Bangalore thing, and I put them onto it and stuff like that. And so like all these like new controller players are just like all these just Bangalore sweats and stuff like that. And I'm pretty happy about it. It's still my biggest flex that like I got the aim assist thing taken away. Love it.
Yeah, because I remember that you played with Design a lot at the beginning of that split,
Mm-hmm.
and you put him on, And then design is just like I mean, huge respect to the guy, but that man, he will cheese whatever there is to
Hell
cheese.
yeah.
And that man was just putting everybody, he was like, dude, you just smoke your feet, step on the edge, and then and then it was just the combination of everything, and then just everybody was doing it. And then, yeah, you definitely 100% were the reason that a major change was made in the game, which is pretty cool to think about, no doubt.
Yeah.
Dude, design actually does, dude. He literally is the most cheesy person possible. He like,
dude, and it's not even just in Apex, because I remember playing COD
and in Halo,
and him using the cheesy
Dude,
single shot. Yeah,
he
Halo.
does it for anything. That guy is a sleazeball, dude. Absolute sleazeball.
Hey, you got to give him props. He's efficient. He is efficient.
You mentioned something a little bit earlier where you said I didn't know if I wanted to go deeper into comp or maybe even try this. When was that moment that you decided, hey, you know what, I think I'm good enough to do this, and I'm going to go for it? Because it's been kind of a whirlwind, I think, the last year for you. Like, when was that? Was there like a specific moment, or did you just kind of like just play it by ear and see how things went?
Well, I would say around like season 6 through like 9, I was basically like homeless, and like I had nowhere to live. I was just like couch hopping and stuff, and like, but I always had like this deep passion inside of me that like I knew I could be really good and I could make a future in a game if I just like put my heart to it. So I was playing every single day on a hotspot, like the worst setup possible, like little kid chair, TV and a dresser, and like I was still being able to hold top 10 rank, like playing like that. And I was like, that just doesn't like happen normally. And I was like, I just feel like I'm just gifted at this game. And like once I realized I was able to do that and I set up like that, like if I just had my own place and had everything just kind of like handed to me, I could just sit down and grind and just become one of the greatest.
That's crazy. So you were just going kind of from couch to couch and just trying to just find your next spot where you could just hook up and play?
Yeah, it wasn't my fault though. I was still in high school. I had like a really like shitty life growing up, my teenage years. But like I always went to gaming as kind of like my coping and stuff like that. And like, I mean, I'm here now. Definitely worked out.
Yeah, man, that's a crazy way to come up out of nowhere, essentially. So from there, so it wasn't really more of a moment. It was just kind of like a passion within you. You're like, I just have to get there. I gotta get to this spot.
Yeah.
If that's the case, when was that first big break? And kind of go through and describe like a moment that you remember that you're like, dude, I think I can actually do this.
I first started my stream. I never streamed before on console. I would just play for free, get number 1 rank screenshots, and just never stream it because I didn't have the internet to. And then I stayed at this one person's house where I was actually able to stream, and I was like, I'm going to start my stream, you know? People want to watch me play. Like, why not? And I started my stream, and I was playing in, like, gold lobbies on, like, a Smurf account because, like, I didn't want to play actual lobbies. I was, like, kind of nervous. And I had, like, 30, 40 viewers just, like, organically in, like, the first 5 minutes. And I was like,
that's
if
insane.
I'm pulling this...
That's nuts.
I was like, that's like insane to me. Like that's a lot of viewers to me.
No, I mean for a first time stream, pulling like double digits in 34 like within minutes with like first time stream is like unheard of. Did you have like a Twitter at this point or anything to promote
Yeah,
it?
I was like
you
I was
definitely
all
had
social.
Okay.
Yeah, all social medias I would post, but I would never like stream. So everybody was like, "Where's the stream at? Where's the stream at?" And I'm like, soon, maybe one day. I would kind of like tell people I like don't know if I just didn't know if I'd be able to stream. I just didn't have like really good internet at all.
Dude, that is what an incredible story for sure.
So then from that stream, it just kind of built from there, and you just kind of built up momentum, and we're just like, okay, I can actually like move into this level. Now, I'm sure at first the first initial thought was, let me just do what I can with this stream and get my name out there as far as just like ranks grinding and stuff like that. when did you kind of turn into the, all right, I think I could actually be like one of the best players here. I could play competitively. When did that shift kind of take place for you?
Definitely when I switched over, because like I said, I wanted to play with like chaotic and them, but me switching over was kind of just like a, how do I put it, like a test. Like I didn't know if I would do good. I was just testing myself. But once I realized like I was able to just like kill players I used to look up to pretty frequently, winning more fights than they're winning against me, I sat there and I was like, I mean, my next step is just competitive. I've already hit like top 3 ranked my first 2 days switching over to the PC, the hardest like ranked like little, I don't know how to put it. It's harder than console, like because there's pros and stuff. But yeah.
Do you remember the first interaction that we had?
Yeah, I think you hit me up before I was even on PC.
Yeah,
It was
no,
like a
well,
week before.
and yeah, because I remember the that I had when I was number 1 on PC at the beginning of like season 11. You were number 1 on PS4, and I think
Oh yeah.
that
Yep.
you had like more LP than I did, and my title on Twitch was like number 1 pred in the world, and then you were like, oh hey man, like I'm like number 1 on PS4, like I have more LP, and I was like okay, because at the time I was like, I mean, it's console, like okay, like all right, man.
Yeah.
But then you made the swap over to PC, and you were just and I remember hearing about you making the swap over to PC, and I definitely knew that you were like an incredibly talented player, and then just how quickly you were able to swap over and make that transition from console to PC, because a lot of the times people are like, oh, like the difference in skill levels is like so big,
Yeah.
but like your
Mhm.
transition was pretty seamless, and it definitely didn't hurt playing with chaotic, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, like the only reason you have that is because you're as talented as you are, and so
Oh yeah,
it's
100%.
definitely been an incredibly impressive like journey to see you on, and being able to get all like the insight into the background of like all of the adversity that you were overcoming that most people just don't have to deal with is pretty inspiring.
Mhm. Appreciate that.
I feel like a story like yours is like, I think it needs to go a little bit deeper and to get people's understanding of where it came from. So you talked about having so much passion for this and wanting to do this despite all of the circumstances kind of going against you, especially in the teenage years. Let's start back at the beginning, where this all started from, like the your passion for gaming. Like, when did you first start gaming? Just kind of go through your genesis throughout when you started gaming and how it got to this point to where you are today.
So my dad was like a hardcore gamer. Like he had every game system, and like this was when I was like really, really young. So like I liked playing every game system that he was. I just like spending time with them and playing with them. So he like showed me this game called Call of Duty, and I was like, oh, it seemed fun. I was like, I think I was like 7 or 8 at the time, but like me and him just played it like every day, kind of like back to back, and I started like just becoming really good at it at a young age, and he just kept like feeding me video games and Call of Duties to play every year. I mean, we would just play until Modern Warfare 2 came out, and I was just super hooked to that game. And I was
Best
like
Call of Duty of all time in my opinion.
100%.
It was just that was
100.
peak.
That
Like if you take Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and you take out noob tubing and you add like a little bit of movement maybe, and you toss that on the market right now, peak multiplayer experience.
100%.
That game,
But
fire.
that was the one thing though. My dad was like a camper with a YouTube, so like that's how he taught me how to play the game. So that's how I played it.
No, I mean, I've had my times of sitting outside. What was that map where it had like the 3 different entrances into like the down low part that you could just spam? I definitely it wasn't like the most amount of times. Like I was definitely more like ACR car guy and just, or like the silenced UMP. But
Oh my god, yeah.
everybody's had their fair share of nub tubbing.
And if you weren't new tubing, you were just doing the Commando Pro, just a tactical
Or that
knifing.
intervention, the quick scopes.
Yep. Yeah.
There was actually, dude.
Man, dude,
Everybody's
so
doing their
many
own
just
thing.
dude, that game was so
that
iconic.
actually is.
I just feel bad that anybody that didn't get to experience that time.
arguably the best camo grind as well. Like I just remember feeling so fulfilled, and maybe it's
Dude.
just because I was a kid and that was the first time I had done anything like that. But one of the most just lovable experiences of grinding camos.
What was your go-to
Um,
camo? What's peak
I
camo?
I actually liked Red Tiger over
Yep, Red
Fall.
Tiger.
I,
Shuby?
I actually liked Red
You?
Tiger.
Red Tiger. Red Tiger.
Red
Loved it.
Tiger fan
Yeah,
as
I
well.
was.
I was a Blue Tiger guy.
Blue
I'm
Tiger.
not.
Well,
I know, and see, I felt cool about it because I was like, all of these people picking Red Tiger and Fall because it's a higher level. I mean, they're just Blue Tiger all day.
I'm not gonna lie, Blue Tiger in Modern Warfare 1 was so clean. So clean. It looked like it was way brighter. The only reason I didn't like it in Modern Warfare 2 was it was kind of like a dullish blue. But if you look at the one in Modern Warfare 1, it was like just bright. It just looked really, really good. But we didn't mean to cut you off, Shooby,
I mean,
about
we just,
that.
yeah, you gotta.
It's
No,
just
it's
Modern
fine.
Warfare 2. So keep kind of going through your history. So you start playing Call of Duty and you're starting to get good at it.
Yeah, I was like dropping like nukes every day. I wouldn't get off the game until I would drop a nuke. There was times where I was like, I would fake that I was sick just so I could play the game. Like I was just like a bad child, but I love video games. I mean, my full gamer tag is Shooby Tubi, and it's not mine technically. I got it from my dad. But I just like took the name, kind of like inherited it. But he got Shooby Tubi because he would use noob tubes in Modern Warfare 2. That's how he got the Tubi part. So like,
Oh, that is so funny. Oh,
Yep, the one-man army.
that is absolute just peak. Like one of the top moments of this podcast is the Shooby Tubi noob tube name reveal. Oh no,
Yep.
that's funny.
yeah, I would just play every day Modern Warfare 2, and then like I would just every year new COD drops, I was just on that, and I would just play with my brothers, friends, and my dad and stuff like that until like a game called Fortnite came out, and like I was still like on the bad setups and stuff like that, but like that game clicked with me different. I was like, I've never played a BR before, like never played H1, never played all those games, but like I played Fortnite so much, and I was peaking in Fortnite. I was like able to kill like all these like 100K YouTubers and like all these like live streamers and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting here on like a brick of a console doing it, competing in tournaments. But I never made it far in that game because I just started to grow to hate the game for some reason, because Apex came out in like I think season like 8 or 9 of Fortnite, and I just played Apex, and ever since that day of playing, I actually played almost every single day since then. Just love the game. I still love it.
And so that love carries you to basically where you are today. But that background is always so important with people, because that's kind of what starts where you go in this career. And I don't know if too many people are loading up hotspots on a brick of a console, like you're saying, just to get some games in. But that's an incredible story, and it's awesome to hear. And now we fast forward even further to today, and you are on a pro roster, getting ready for a brand new season of ALGS, and you guys are primed and ready to go. Talk a little bit about your guys' team and how excited you are to get into year 4.
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about Chaotic. That man is just one of the greatest controller players to touch the game. And I mean, Zach, he's just MNK. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. But I mean, Zach is honestly one of the greatest MNK players. I've told him that so many times off stream when he's like kind of like not feeling himself. And I'm like, bro, you are literally one of the greatest players. I wouldn't team with you if you weren't one of the greatest. Like, I know that sounds like an ego, but I wouldn't team with someone who's bad. You know, I knew he just had he competed in championships before. And, you know, just I feel like all three of us together, we'd just be good. We got 2 rollers, an MNK, me and Chaotic have brains, Zach has a brain, we can all shoot our gun, and just like I haven't just never felt this confident with a team before. At all.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see you and Chaotic together on like the pro scene, because we've all seen what you guys can do playing ranked, and so now it's gonna be cool seeing you guys doing it at the highest level, and Zach leading the way.
Me and Chaotic go all the way back to like season 7 of console. we used to play all the time. Like none of us streamed. We kind of played for fun, but me and him actually hated each other a little bit because we would just argue every time we'd play. We were just little kids. We were like 16, 17. We just didn't know better, but now we're just like so much more mature, just on the same team. We're just ready to win anything.
You think chemistry wise that like helps? I mean, obviously you guys have been playing for a long time, but you guys kind of know how each other like to play. So do you think that you guys are able to kind of like slingshot method or the what is it, the shake and bake from what is it, what is Ricky Bobby, what is that from?
Talladega
Nights. That's it.
Talladega
yeah,
Nights.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah, like you guys just play off each other super well, and then Zach just tells you what to do sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically. 100%.
So your guys' vibe going in, obviously E8 didn't have the greatest of runs last season, and it was a tough run, and there was a lot of things that went wrong, a lot of roster movement, lots of things that could have went in a different direction. As far as what you guys have now, you say you feel a lot more confident. You say you feel really good about this team. What do you think needs to change going into year 4, just as far as just a team dynamic to help you guys get over that next level and be able to qualify for some of these lands?
Playing more for sure, because since we've been signed, it's kind of like, I know we've all been kind of like going on our own like vacations and like taking our days off, but like we haven't been playing too much together. It's kind of what I'm worried about. But like year 4 isn't even announced yet, so it's kind of like I'm not tripping right now. But like once it's announced, I want to like make sure we're all playing like 8 hours a day minimum, 5 days a week. And, like I want to be on a schedule and like get them straight to get on it with
in
me.
those scrim blocks too. Like that's
I'm so excited to see that happen.
just really important.
Dude, I am so excited to see that happen.
How I gotta.
That is gonna.
Oh, sorry. Do you?
Nah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. I was just, like it's gonna be amazing.
Do you? How much have you been able to play Olympus competitively, and what are your thoughts on that? Since that's kind of a hot topic right now, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I like Olympus as a map. I just don't think it deserves to be a comp map. Like some of the circles just like pull in ways they just shouldn't pull, and then like it just shouldn't be a comp map. I just think it's so bad. Like some of the POIs just feel like some of the beacons just don't even spawn, and like there's just so many choke points that it's just, I think it's bad for comp. But like I like the map overall. For ranked, I think it's like one of the best ranked maps.
As far as like loot goes, because we kind of discussed it, I think a few weeks ago. Like I think Finn brought it up, but loot wise, I don't know if that map makes sense for a ALGS environment. Like I just don't know if it's gonna have that. Have you guys kind of like talked about what you would want to do going forward if that's the case? Because it seems like that's the direction they're pushing.
Zach said he wants to flex drop like the best POIs he can. Like if we go in like Pro League week 1 and we have to play and TSM isn't in the lobby, we're gonna contest for Siphon. We're gonna play for Siphon, and like for like whatever the other map is, we're gonna just play for like the best POI we can if that team isn't there. So that's how Zach wants to play, because like he just thinks it's like a really good way to play. I mean, he says it's worked a lot in the past too, so I trust him for that.
So I want to talk about you. Was the first time you were playing comp with Blackhand? Was that like your first real like comp stuff, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel like that went? I mean, I know you guys had some pretty good success. I just remember you guys were contesting Mill at one point, and you were making a lot of people angry because you guys would just kill a lot of people. Oh my gosh! But I would love for you.
We were really good.
Yeah, no, yeah. I want to ask you about it. How was it playing on that team with a bunch of roller demons, and then like a bunch of console, like recently going over to PC console, roller demons? Like, how was that?
I mean, it was definitely my favorite memories ever was like them, because like tier 2 there was a lot of like LAN tournaments that would be hosted more than like there would be for like tier 1, so like a lot of people wouldn't show up, but it was just like fun memories with like the teammates and stuff. We were definitely shooters. Like we connected on a whole different level. Like I felt like we would have done really good if we made it to Pro League, but the only issue with that team was just that once again it was just lack of playing together, and none of us knew how to IGL. Goat was the only one who knew how to IGL, and he was kind of just like the silent like friar. So like it really wasn't gonna go far because of that.
Like you guys had already
And
reached
so,
your cap, like your ceiling at that point. You guys were just like,
yeah,
you kind of were just kind of winging it. There wasn't like a whole set strategy on like, okay, this is how the IGL wants to play. But you guys were just like, we'll take this fight. We'll then rotate the zone, see what happens type of deal. Like you just kind of
yep,
fly by the seat of your pants, which unfortunately, I mean, fortunately it happened. You can do well in challengers in a tier 2 scene, but whenever you get to like
oh
the
yeah,
big boy lobbies, it's just much more structured in how people play.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so transitioning out of that, I believe the next team that you played, well, at least the next person you played with was Madness, I believe. Like Madness kind of gave you a chance, I think, or was there somebody else before that?
We ended up dropping Goat because of some stuff that happened like behind the scenes, and then we ended up picking up a guy named DivQ. Used to play with Shiv for like the solo queue goats and stuff like that, and we played, and like our run was really good, but um, we went to TwitchCon San Diego together, but a Pro League qualifier fell on the date we were there, which was fucked up, and we had to play on like the worst setup PCs ever. They were like $200 PCs, and like we didn't qualify for Pro League because of it, and we kind of just like slowly disbanded. And I got hit up by Madness, and he was like, "Yo, you want to play with us?" Luda kind of dipped on us. We need someone to play for Pro League in the next 2 days. That was kind of like my debut game. I puked when I played with Madness the first time in Pro League because it was just so nerve wracking playing at that high of a level, like first time ever, just being all challenger circuit. It was an experience though.
Yeah, you were balled out. It made enough of an impression to get a permanent spot, you know? So
Hell yeah.
I just remember you, dude. Oh, bro, it was outside of Antenna. You guys were in an end game, and you did, dude. You popped off. I don't. You did like a 1,000 damage
Oh.
in a span of about 45 seconds, and then y'all won the game.
Yeah, it was with the RE45.
Yeah, that's it,
clip.
dude. It's insane.
Yep.
I was just like, bro, this guy is shooting absolute nukes right now. Like, he needs to take a piss test right now because he's on something. So that for me in my head solidified you as like, yeah, this kid's legit. Like he's gonna stay in the league for a while, and I think, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's very impressive to see like the rise that you've had. Can you talk about like teaming with Madness and like what you learned from him?
hmm Well, at first we got like 9th place for my debut, so I was kind of like, I didn't know if he was gonna like keep me. I thought like maybe it was kind of like I'm just a fill, and if we do really good, maybe he keeps me. But if we do like, he's not. But he ended up keeping me because he said that like he doesn't expect anything crazy for a debut game of like someone who's never played at that level. And I was like, all right, well, let's get to work. You know, I told my old team about it. They were like hyping me up. So, you know, me and Madness and Pow Pow started to like scrim and stuff. We started to get into it. And then like we were doing like pretty bad at first in like the oversights because like they just barely played the game. I was like the fresh one of that roster. They were playing like 3 hours a day, and sometimes it wouldn't even be Apex. So like I started like getting them on like a schedule of like, hey, we need to play every day. Like I want to be the best. I'm gonna make us the best. I'm gonna try. And then we started seeing like insane performances. We started having earnings together. We started getting like top 5 consistently in scrims and oversights, and like it was kind of like getting to a point where we'd even have to warm up and we'd get like top 3 in a pro scrim, and it was like I felt like we were doing really good. And then Pro League came along, like the rest of the Pro League weeks after the first one, and I think our performances were pretty good. It was like 8th, 5th, I think 4th, and like another 6th. It was like all within like the top 8, and like we ended up not making land though the regional finals because of like Madness played bad under pressure. I felt like whenever he knew that like if we would die one game, it could be the whole reason why we don't make land. He wasn't like that guy when it came to clutching under pressure. So we usually had bad like days when we needed like really, really good days. And It was kind of the reason why I decided to try to play with a new team, which would be EA now, because like I just I need to have consistency on my team. I feel like I just can't have like, you know, I forgot what I was
No,
gonna
you're
say.
good. You're good. You're good.
I lost my train of thought.
I want to talk about it before we get into E8, the whole thing. You at one point where your name was getting brought up for the DZ spot at one point.
Yeah.
So I want to get into that a little bit. I knew Madness was not very stoked about it, but I think he actually also understood, though. I mean, no one was stoked to think like, oh yeah, my player's getting poached. Like no one's gonna be like super stoked about it. But could you talk about like from your perspective, like what happened to you whenever you got approached by Zero?
I was actually in the car and I seen him like DM me and I was like, what is this? This is like not normal. I've never had an interaction with him at all or anything, so I was like, what's going on? He sent me that DM and I like instantly screenshot. I think it was like a DM like, hey, do you want a trial? And if the trial goes good, you can have a full contract to DZ. And I was like, that's like super random. But like I didn't know what to pick. I didn't know if I should, because I just got signed to. I was with Reptar at the time and Madness for wild card, and we were in sixth overall with 2 game days left to make it to land. So I was like, I'm already doing good. Like this offer could be crazy, but like I feel like, I mean, I'm already signed and everything. I have a paycheck. I have a really good team, and I didn't have my answer yet, but Zero DM'd me like later that day and sent me like a link of Madness saying like I turned down the offer and everything like that. And I was like, I didn't even get to say anything yet. I never said yes or no. Like I just simply didn't get to say anything. And then it was already kind of like a bad look. Zero's kind of like blowing up my DMs and he's like, I forgot what he said, but he was just like, it was just kind of fucked up. And I was like, bro, I didn't say anything. Like I never gave an answer to Madness. And then I was kind of like, I'm just gonna stay with my team. Like this is just already too much, and it's kind of another reason why I parted ways from Madness, because like he kind of just like chose my own career for me. It felt like right there, and I was just like, I'm not like with that. I want to choose like my own destiny.
That is very interesting to think about. Like,
That's got to be frustrating.
yeah,
It was pretty frustrating for
I
sure.
can see that. I feel like that's a lot of like that's information that people did like the public didn't know. Like the only thing that we really saw in the TL was like, or at least I saw maybe on the comp Reddit or on the TL was like, okay, Shooby decided to stay loyal and went with Madness instead of going with Zero. Like that was the narrative that was created. But it's interesting to hear from yours. It's like, you know, you didn't even really have an answer at that time. How long of like a period was that? Like, was it 24 hours, 48 hours, or what?
I think it was a couple. It was a couple hours because I sent the screenshot to Madness and he was playing ranked and I wasn't streaming or anything. And then I think it was like maybe like 5 or 6 hours in, somebody asked a question. They were speculating that this was going around. I had no clue how it was going around. I only showed my comp team, but I think one thing about Madness, he liked to talk to his stream a lot about like stuff like that. So he was talking to his stream and I got clipped and sent to him. I'd probably say like 6-7 hours after. And then I think he messaged me back like an hour after that. And then like was just kind of just like a whole like list of messages about it. And I was like, bro, I just didn't know what to say. Like he's like this big old like land champion, like asking me for this, like kind of like telling me I'm all fucked up. And I was like, bro, I didn't say anything, you know?
Yeah, well, that's definitely that's some interesting insight. I mean, obviously, it is one side of the story, but that is definitely like an interesting development about that whole situation. It does kind of suck because, like you said, you just didn't really get to choose your answer, which is almost the worst way to go because you give an answer, whether it goes right or wrong, you can own up to it and be like, well, yeah, that was my choice. I made my choice. When it's kind of just taken from you like that, it's just like, damn, I didn't even get to say anything. Like, I didn't even get it. Yeah, that kind of sucks, man. That sucks. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's worked out. Yeah, so that whole situation goes down, and now you're moving on into this new situation where you had talked about you wanted to play more, and it was like a schedule thing. You wanted to have more consistency. With E8, you guys are going to plan to play a lot together. You were hoping for like 8 hours, and so moving into this next chapter, it's got to be feeling really good to be able to have that
Mm-hmm.
kind of like consistency and be like, we're going to have the schedule, we're going to stick to it, and it's going to be a good time. So I think, I mean, right now, how you got to be feeling just way better about your situation.
I definitely feel like a lot better, like a lot, because like back on like playing with Madness, like if I didn't hop on to play ranked and we weren't like a 3-man comp team playing ranked, like no one was on playing. But like with the new team I have now, it's like if I'm not on, Chaotic and Zach are on playing, or if they're not on, I'm on playing. Like we're making sure we're getting our hours in, and that we're just like keeping our mechanics warmed up and everything like that. And never really had that with like teammates that make sure that they're just like trying to individually get better.
Now, when it comes to like playing, is it more important? This might be a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. It might be. Is it more important to play together at all times for like, I don't know, like a couple hours, or more important to play a lot of hours, even if it's not necessarily with the squad, just to keep yourself warmed up?
Um, I guess it depends. Like for ranked, I would say like, I mean, ranked's become a lot more easier as the time goes on, but like, playing a lot for ranked definitely helps a lot. But like, I would say that the thing that helps the most is playing TDMs together. That's one thing we haven't done together, but like those pro TDMs are like super super sweaty, and like, I mean, I'm playing in them all the time by myself, and I see my skill getting like drastically better. And like, I try to get like chaotic to do those, but he really doesn't want to do those. But like, me and Zach do them all the time. We'll play together. Um, yeah.
So now moving into year
Why?
four,
Hold on.
there's got to be some
Before that,
things.
can I talk
Oh,
about specifically 3v3s?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Hold on. Bad on me. Okay, real quick, talking about 3v3s. For those that don't know, that's like going into customs, playing on like Habitat 4 or like Skull Town or whatever, and like it's like very it's essentially like what arenas was, except you get to respawn and you have 50 tries to be able to beat the other team. So I want to talk slightly real quick because this is kind of like a newer development, similar to how like contest practice has kind of been a thing in private lobbies as well. How do you feel about three? I mean, obviously you love 3v3s and you seem to be really enjoying it, and you feel like your skills improved.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that is like the next wave of like making your team better at team fights and communication?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Because sometimes I'll play TDMs with people I've never played with before, but like we'll start being down by like two, and like everyone's just screaming comms like on me, to the left, put the cat wall down, like and like it just definitely like I could just imagine if it's just like every comp team played TDMs every day, it'd actually just be like amazing. Everyone would just like increase the fucking skill ceiling by so much.
AKA,
It's
if you're on a
crazy
pro
how.
team, you need
So
to
you
be.
would say that's the best
You
way
got
to
to
get
start
better?
rolling those out if you're wanting to be a
Mhm.
pro team and get better at your team fights.
Oh yeah,
So
100%.
3v3 TDMs, would you say is like your best way to develop as
Yeah.
a player at the skill level that you've gotten to at this point?
Yeah, because like you're constantly moving and shooting on your roller in close distance fights where like that doesn't happen too much in comp. Where like unless you're just like contesting, because if you're playing comp, you're playing to loot up for 10 minutes and then you find a team and fight, and then like for TDMs and stuff, and even ranked, like you got to loot up and ranked and all that. But like for TDMs, you're fighting nothing but pro players. Everybody on the other team's pros. You're all pros, and you're all just like gunning each other down, using your abilities differently to see like how they would work, and like if this would work against an actual team. And like you can like experiment a little bit, and like a lot of stuff actually works.
That's awesome. That is awesome because it was kind of thrown into the game. I feel like as just like we're just gonna throw in like a mode for the casuals right there. But I'm
Hmm.
so happy to see that it's like translating to the highest level of Apex, of people being able to work on team fights and stuff. Because I really enjoy TDM and that aspect of the game. It's one of my favorite things to do. So that's really, really cool. Moving into year 4, everybody has something they want to work on personally within their own game. Is there one thing you're looking to do, whether it be mechanically, communication, comms, whatever it may be? Is there one thing you're looking to shore up on your game a little bit?
Definitely communication, 100%. I communicate a lot, but I feel like sometimes I just like, I don't want to say communicate too much, but like I'll like hit somebody for like 20 damage. I'll be like, he's hit 50, and then like that could be like the whole reason why the game gets thrown away, because you're gonna be like, oh, I hit him for 170 and he didn't die. Well, and you know, I just want to start being like more like informational with my comms, like exact damage numbers, like exactly how I'm gonna like approach these fights, and like how I'm gonna use my abilities, and not just like use them, hope they're good, and like just don't say anything about it. So yeah, definitely communications.
All right. Do you guys got anything else?
I've got my double tap
Before-
ready, but
Okay.
Yeah, let's
All
hit
right,
the double tap.
Throw
you
it.
ready? All right, Shoob. We're going to do a double tap. And essentially what it is I'm going to say 5 statements, and then you're going to reply the best that you can in one word, or if the statement asks multiple, for multiple things, then you do as least amount of words as possible, essentially. And we're going to go as quickly as possible. You ready?
I'll try. Yeah, let's
All right.
see.
This one, the first one's a little throw off. I'm not gonna lie. All right, number 1, top 5 roller players in the world.
Hal.
Okay. Number 2, biggest thing you have learned on your come up to E8.
Ooh, that's a hard one. Passion.
Good. Yeah, that's great. Number 3, best attribute you bring to a competitive Apex team.
Consistency.
Number 4, Loba as a competitive pick.
W.
Really? Wow. Okay. Number 5, Shooby's
Hell yeah.
mindset going into year 4.
Straight dubs.
That's right, baby. Come on. Hold on. I want to talk about
Love to
that.
see it, love to see it.
Loba as a competitive pick, you said a W?
Yeah, I just wish a lot more people used her. Like, I know she's kind of like a pussy pick in ranked, but like in comp, if you don't land at a strong POI, you like it's kind of hard to just like be able to get fully kitted for that game of comp unless you fight people or third people. But like being able to just sit where the zone's gonna end at and just literally pick apart people's loot boxes just by AFKing on the low ball, it's like it's like passive income for like points and stuff like that. And like it's helped me a lot. Like Madness put me on the Loba wave. Like I had to play Loba for Pro League, and like I enjoyed it. Like we had our best performances when I played Loba. I just enjoyed her. She had an escape, free loot. You can see wherever like good armor spawn off rip if you're on a contest or something. I think she's just like really underrated and should be used more for comp.
That's a big insight. That's that is definitely like a big take.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't really view it that way. We all know that Loba's not the greatest in fighting situations, but it's like, hey, if you actually can set your team up in a good spot in zone, like you can reap the benefits. It's like an investment pick. Like she gets better the later on, So
yeah,
I love that perspective, Shub. I think that that's a really good perspective and good for our listeners to be able to hear somebody like your caliber to be like, hey, it's not just good in rank, but like, hey, this is the reason why people are using it in comp. I just think it's such a good, really good insight that you had there.
Alrighty, you want to hit him with it?
Yeah, I'll hit him with it. But then before I hit him with it, what along this journey would you say has been your favorite part?
playing with the pros. Like it is just like I think about it every single day. Like I was in the same lobby playing with Tfue, like Al, just like all these people that I used to just watch every single day on my PlayStation, and it's like I can just like invite him and play with him whenever I want. Well, not Tfue because like he doesn't play the game anymore like that, but like it was still like my biggest like memory and like flex. Like all my friends were messaging like, bro, you're playing with Tfue or you're playing with Alb right now, bro. What the? And it's like, that's just my biggest accomplishment in this game.
until that championship.
Yes, until the championship, 100%.
There we go. All right, so the question that I ask everybody, because everybody we have on the show is performing in the top 1% of the field that they've chosen. You fit that description beyond a shadow of doubt. And so, what is one thing that you've learned along this journey to get to where you're at in this top 1%? That's somebody that, regardless of the field and life that they're pursuing, would be able to apply and able to help them achieve what they're looking for?
I have to think this one through. Really, just like, if you want to do something, just like, don't give up because there's just like heavy obstacles in the way, you know? Like, if you really want to do something, you're gonna do it, you know? Like, you're gonna make an effort to do it. Like, I really wanted to play this game when I realized I was that good at it. No matter what couch I had to sleep on, floor I had to sleep on, I made sure that like I was going to like continue to play this, like, no matter what. And like, not a lot of people do that inside the game and outside the game, you know? A lot of people just like choose the easy or lazy way out, and then they get no like incentives or anything from it, and they just give up before they like push past that barrier that they could have just be like where I'm at right now, or like, you know, like the other top players are at.
Did you have a backup plan?
No, I still don't.
That's my
No
dog.
backup plan.
That's my dog right there. Let's go.
It always comes back to it. It always comes back to it. Yeah. There it is. Well,
that
Shooby,
was like a fire way to end the interview.
You hit it out of the park with that one. You really did. Well, Shoob, thanks for hopping on the show, man. It's been a pleasure, and we can't wait to watch you in ALGS year 4. It's going to be awesome to see how your guys' team does. A lot of eyeballs going to be on you guys because we want to see the bounce back. We want to see it. We want to see it come through. We want to see you guys make some lands and potentially even head home with that trophy. So thank you for hopping on the show, man. We'll talk to you real soon.
I appreciate you for having me, and you will see us hold that trophy one of these playoffs or championship.
There you go.
We'll be there for sure.
There we go. All right, thanks, Shoob.
I appreciate you guys again for having me.
All right, ladies and gents, let's send it on down to Finn for the announcement.
Aw, dang. So my announcement is this will be the last podcast, more than likely, for me. I was offered a contract through EA fully for a playtesting job, and I've been doing that, but I hadn't been under the EA contract. And now that I am going to be an official EA employee, it is best for both parties if I don't continue on with the podcast, since it is about Apex and I would be, officially working for the company. So I think it's, of the best interest for everybody involved, which is very sad considering what this is going to be, episode 60. And we've invested a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of just watching Apex intently and keeping up with the drama and everything that's involved in competitive Apex, all the way down to just the casual player. And for me, I consider my time on this podcast as a success. I still remember tweeting out that I wanted to do an Apex Legends podcast focused around competitive Apex. I just repeated myself twice, but and not really knowing what I was going to do. And it's funny because the first two people to say that they wanted to do this was one, Enoch, was like, "Yo, let's do it. Hit me up." It was like 7:30 in the
I'm pretty
morning.
sure I replied within like minutes of you posting
Yeah,
that.
it was like dude, it's like so early in the morning. And then I remember getting maybe like 30 or 45 minutes later, I get a message from Wyatt saying, "Yo, I want to I'm down to do this." And it's just funny how it ended up all of this being the way it was. And I remember having our first meeting, and I had Enoch meet Wyatt, and Wyatt and meet Enoch, and Enoch, like, Wyatt left, and Enoch was like, "Yeah, this dude's legit," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And so like it just kind of worked out the way it did, and I'm very thankful for that, and I'm very thankful for my time on the podcast. And yeah, it's this is one of those things where I'm gonna look back on it in my life and be like, man, this is some of the best times of my life, where I got to sit down with two dudes and just watch and talk about Apex and give my opinion on things that it's crazy that people care about at all. That people care about our opinion or care about my opinion about something, or whatever topic I bring up, or my thoughts on something, something as silly as like a roster or something like that. But um yeah, it's it hurts, and it's something that is not an easy decision to make, but I have a peace about it, and I know that it is the right decision for me in my life. And it's just hard because it's like, I know these guys have invested a lot of time, and I myself have invested a lot of time for this. So it's just hard, but I don't want to think about it as a bad thing. I want to see this as like a joyous thing for me when it comes to just the overall view of the podcast, and making like crazy sacrifices and stuff that people just won't ever see. Like, and that's okay. Like, people just won't ever know the hard work that these guys have done in the background to do it. So shout out to E, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Connor. Um, so I just want to say thank you to the listeners. I appreciate um, y'all being there for me and for us as a podcast. So that's where I'm at. That's my announcement.
E, do you have anything?
I'm excited for you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you're able to do as you continue forward on this career path. Obviously, it absolutely sucks to see you go and to this be the last pod that we have with you. But it's been an absolute pleasure. This, like as you said, like this whole thing was started because you made a tweet. We hit you up. We hopped in a call. We made it happen. And we've made 60 episodes that have been absolute just fire banger content. And these 60 episodes are something that I'll always be thankful for. And it's definitely not the end. Like me and Wyatt, we got some things to figure out, but we'll definitely figure out, and the show will go on, and we'll see. But I'm genuinely, I wish you nothing but the best. Obviously, I would absolutely love to be able to see you stay on the pod and be able to continue to do this with us, because there's just nobody who's going to be able to like genuinely like replace you. Like obviously we might have somebody as like a third person we regularly have on the pod, but they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be Fenichi, and so But we'll see what happens. It'll be fun. But yeah, wish you nothing but the best, man.
Yeah, same here. It definitely sucks. You know, it's just one of those things where it kind of happened rather quickly, and that's the part that sucks the most, I think. And but we do wish you the best, and I'm sure all these fans are definitely going to miss having you on. As far as what me and Enoch are going to do, we're probably going to have some conversations and figure out what is going to go down. So that means there might be a little bit of a possible pause, because like I said, it did kind of happen rather quickly. So we're still trying to like work through the entire thing and what's best for the listeners and the show. So we're gonna get down, figure out what we want, talk it out, see what happens, and we'll go from there. But as far as Finn goes, we wish the best, and hopefully you don't make some terrible decisions, bro. That's what I'm worried about right now. As far as that's just a joke about the game. Yeah, but it's it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be interesting.
You had Finn for a second there, man.
Yeah,
He really thought.
Yeah. I could have set that joke up better. Connor, we're definitely cutting that. No, it's yeah. Yeah, it's just gonna be one of those things, man. It definitely sucks, but we will. You're gonna do great. We're gonna see you succeed, so that's gonna be good, and we'll just go from there. So do you guys just want to get into heart to heart and then round it out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll hit a quick ad right now, and then we'll get into the heart to heart and send you guys on the rest of your week. All right, ladies and gents, let's get into the heart to heart. Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first, unless Fenn wants to. Fenn, do you want to have Fenn should go last since this is his last episode. I will potentially last episode. Potentially. We don't know what'll happen. But my heart, I'm just grateful as fuck. I mean, truthfully, I've been having just an amazing time at the feast. It's been really fun celebrating Sukkot with my congregation. We had a free day. So like typically with the days, we have the days filled with, there's like 2 holy days, the one at the beginning and then the last one. And so through that week, we just get together as a congregation, and there's like, we do a bunch of studying like and stuff, like just Q&As, just getting together and going through different parts of scripture. It's all just really great. And we have a free day, and so the free day ended up getting switched in the schedule, and so we're like, all right, but like we'll come up with something. And so me and my friend, we came up with a pretty fantastic day for our wives. And so at one point, part of the day was we were going to this thing called like the Lost Sea Adventure, which is like there's this underground cave that has like a lake in it, like a giant like area of water. And so we went down there. But so the part of the journey that I'm going to get into that connects with a tweet that I had not too long ago was that when we checked the availability on the tickets, it said that there were like 25 spots for one and like 15 spots for the other that we were going to be like thinking about going to. And we're like, all right, bet, don't even have to worry about it. And so then we had 2 hours before like with the time plans, like the time span that we were planning on going. And so we went and saw this like overlook of a mountain, which was just beautiful. And so we had an hour drive from there to the Lost Sea. And when I looked on my phone and checked the availability, there was like 2 slots open for one and 4 slots open on the other. And so I'm like, all right, well, let's find out if this is a hard cap. And so called, ended up having like connection issues trying to talk to the person because of just where we were driving through. The reception got cut because I mean, we were just driving through Tennessee. And so then I call and we're talking to them and they're like, okay, we have 8 walk-in spots. Can't guarantee them. Can't lock them in for you. That's just, there's nothing we can do. And so then I hung up. And before we in between, like when I had gotten like that full info from her and like during like the part of the phone reception, I was with the guy, like the 2 guys I was with, and I said, so do you guys want to like brainstorm what we do if it doesn't work out? And then I immediately after asking, I was like, me personally, I think we should just have the expectation that it's going to work out and we just proceed on our way. Don't even worry about it. Just enjoy the time. And then we'll just get there and it's going to work out great. And then if it doesn't work out, we'll just deal with it then. And so then like, they were like, all right, let's do it. And so then we did that. Like 40 minutes later, we get there. I then walk up, get the 6 tickets. We're good to go. And everything worked out timing wise and fuck a backup plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you just full commit to the fact it's like, okay, it's going to work out. It's going to be great. And so like, was there the chance that it didn't? Sure. But if that happened, I could just figure out what we were going to do for the rest of the day and to make up for that time. But I wasn't going to plan for it not working out when I could just be optimistic and hopeful and not go through that experience when I didn't have to. And so it was a fun, like, not just like talking about it, but being about it type moment. And it was fun to be about it.
There we go. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And it always comes back to that backup plan, doesn't it?
No, and also another thing is that like during the feast, I have like a certain, like, there's like three tithes. So like you have first tithe with his 10%, and then you have second tithe, which would be 10% to like spend towards feasts. And then you have the third tithe, which you would do on like your first, well, you know, your third and sixth tithe years, which would be like a benevolence to like, for like the poor. And so part of like the second tithe is like, I have a money that I save all year round for these feasts. And so it's an opportunity to like really just like live in abundance during that time and just like celebrate the feast and not have to worry about it. Because like way back when you would have to, a lot of these people would be like traveling. And so there'd be like a lot of cost to it. And so that even today, like there are people who are traveling from like all over the world. I think we have like, I think it was over 30 different states where we have people coming from, which is really cool. There's like around like 450 people, which is just like incredible time to be just around like so many like-minded individuals. And but like what part of that I'm getting to is like I have like this set aside money that is basically like it's all about just enjoying my time. And so I went to Ruth's Chris with a party of 6 and we just ordered whatever, didn't think about nothing, just absolutely feasted, balled out, got the tomahawk steak, 40 ounce, like they got like the bone that my steak came out on, they cut off and then packaged, and then we let our like my brother's dog basically like eat the bone of it because it's like that big. And so and it was just an absolute feast of a night, and it's something that I would absolutely like. I dropped more on that meal than I would ever drop on a meal ever, but it was something that I got to experience because it was a feast and I was celebrating it. And so I'm thankful that I, as part of like my faith, I have the opportunity to have like these moments where I get to have like a taste of like what like abundance feels like, and being able to walk into like a place like that and just not even think about like how much things cost and just do so like, and it was a fun experience, and it was something that I'm definitely thankful for. And I think that everybody should have moments where they get to put themselves in that abundant mindset and get to just experience like what that feels like for a little bit. Cause then you're training yourself to have that be what would eventually like be like your norm.
There we go. Beautiful. Heart to heart this week. Huh. I don't know. I would probably just say the importance of communication between anybody, family, friends, whatever it may be, like just how important communication is. Um, saying what you feel, getting it off your chest, doing all that, extremely important to maintaining relationships. And it's not something I'm always good at. And I try to get better at it each and every day. There's certain things that hold me back from proper communication. Um, but what I've found as I've grown up is I used to just resent any sort of um, conversation with somebody that I felt like was a little bit more testy because I came from a home where my parents were split, used to yell at each other a lot. It's one of those things you just kind of try to avoid those conversations. But as I've gotten older, I found that a lot of times what people are looking to do in the long run is come to a conclusion. Not everybody wants to argue. Not everybody wants to be going back and forth. They want to find a way to come to a common ground. And doing that in my relationships at home, doing that with like friends, and probably friends have been the most that I've had to do that with, just because I've had the same friends for so long. And those situations pop up all the time. And I found that when I leave things a little bit longer, I start to fester in like what I think, like my mind goes to a different place where it's like if a situation happens and you don't talk it out, especially with one of the guys, what'll end up happening is I'll sit there and I'll have all these conversations and things go down in my head that didn't actually happen. I just kind of like picture them. And then when I do actually talk to them, it's one of the easiest conversations I've ever had. It's smooth as butter because they love me. They want to see us really reach the same common ground. And I've had to do that a few times over the last few weeks with family and friends and stuff like that, with all the new stresses of life coming around, baby on the way, um, job, all that type of stuff. So that would be mine this week, is be mindful of your communication and using it in the right spots, and making sure you get better at it each and every day, because it is one of the most important things, because no matter what you do in this life, you do have to talk to other people, even if you don't want to. Sometimes it's just part of it. So that's probably mine. Just communication and trying to get better at it. For years I've not been good at it, so I think I'm starting to get pretty good. I talk a lot, so makes it easier that way. Okay, Finn, your final heart to heart.
Potentially.
Yeah. I think Wyatt's is pretty close to mine. I think uh yeah, I think a lot of this all just kind of happened really fast. So I think because of that, it is hard to be like, yeah, I did that super well. Because it's like not, I don't know. It's just hard. This is just hard because it all happened very fast. But yeah, I think for me, my heart to heart is like, I think you got, sometimes you just got to trust your gut. And sometimes that is not super easy, especially as somebody who I would say I'm definitely a more empathetic side. I'm more in touch with the feels. I think a lot of times I can allow my feelings to affect the way I go about things. And so I think having to trust your gut is just really important. For me, and that's my heart to heart, is just like when you have good intuition on something and then you have this, that it's that gut feeling of knowing, okay, this is what I got to do. Just know that even whenever it's going to be hard, and it's hard leaving, like, for example, it's hard leaving the podcast. Like, it just is. But yeah, I'm just thankful, but also, yeah. Just,
Well, as a classic thing that we've done on this podcast, me and E have interrupted you countless number of times. I'm going to interrupt you one last time and say, no matter what happens with the show, if things happen in the future where it gets a little bit more free, you have a little bit more free time and maybe a little bit more free will, you call us up and say, let's go. We're fucking riding with the boy. So just know that.
like, we're
No
running
matter
it
what,
back.
like we're running it
Oh,
back.
yeah,
I don't
if you
I
ever
don't want
like,
any
I'm back. I'm like,
yeah.
we are so fucking
I'm
back.
kicking
Like, that's gonna
I'm
be,
kicking
like, the
whoever,
vibe.
if we even get a third, which I don't even know if that's going to be the case, but if we get a third, this is so mean to the hypothetical third, but like I'm taking Finn 10 times out of 10. Like the reason why we've had so much fun and so much success on this show is our chemistry as a unit. And you know, it's, if anything ever changes, and like you said, there's a good possibility that you can't. But even if we have to change the way we kind of outlook on this thing, and sometimes it may have to be just strictly ALGS, whatever it may be, if there's even a sliver that you can do it, we will do it because you're that important to the show. You're the creator, to be honest. And you know, we've done our parts, but anything at all, just know that you hit us up and you say, hey, I'm back, or it's I think I got a chance, or can I just hop on for a week or something? Just know that we're here. And I know this wasn't an easy decision for you, and it really sucks because, like you said, it was one of your things that it had come to your mind and you created it. If I'm going to interrupt you for any last thing on your last episode, potentially, it'll be to say, anytime you're back, we're back. We're back as a unit. We're back as a group. And I promise you that's a heartbeat thing. We're back. We're riding for the boy. So just keep that in mind. We're always going to be here. We're one text away, even though we don't respond till way later, because that's just classic us. But
I
we'll
mean,
be
it
there.
really wouldn't be a GC text if we didn't ignore Fenn for at least like the first
For
4 hours.
4 hours.
After he said something, and he's like, "Hello."
I don't know why, but he always it never failed that I would get a text from Finn as I'm on the toilet. Every single time I would be like, oh my God, like it just happened that way every single time. Don't know how. It was just impeccable timing. But yeah, so like I said, if I was going to ignore you for any last thing, it would be whenever you're back, we're fucking back. So we wish you the best of luck. And we can't wait to see what you do here in the future. And we're excited to see what happens. And we'll be hoping and praying. Anything else, Finn?
Thank you, boys. I appreciate that. I'm just gonna get
course.
my I'm back text, and like I'll put it in the notes app, and like we'll tweet it out and stuff.
Do the Cam Newton style where it's like all those weird characters
weird
where it's got all the dots. Just send it out like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'll be the best way to do it. Okay, well, do you wanna say any last thing to the listeners and stuff like that before?
Oh, dude, it was about to be yeah. I mean, on a serious note, thank you for everybody for listening. It's actually insane to think about that there's people that listen to us and like care, and that's just insane. So I just want to say thank you for that. And then my not so serious thing is, I was gonna say Tom Brady is a cheater.
Let's go.
He deflated the balls, deflate gate, but I will say that he is also the GOAT. So he's the GOAT because even though he cheats, he still wins Super Bowls. and the guy knows how to win. So I'm going to get on that TB12 program, whatever that looks like. So that is my final words. I feel like those are fitting.
Yeah, that's a major callback to anybody who's brand new to the show. If you were here post YouTube, you're not going to get that reference. But if you were here pre YouTube, you'll definitely get that reference. Maybe that's a reason you go back and you listen. Maybe that's why you do it. Okay. Well, ladies and gents, like I said, me and Enoch got some stuff to figure out, and I think we'll always be kind of sitting by our phones waiting for the Cam Newton "I'm back" text. But we're gonna talk the next few weeks. There might be an absence of an episode here and there while we figure out what exactly we're gonna do. I may be speaking out of just pure emotion right now, but I honestly don't want a third. I think it would be better if it's just me and E, and maybe we bring on a guest here and there. Well, we're gonna bring on guests, but like a celebrity guest for maybe a couple weeks in a row. But I just don't feel right. I don't feel right replacing Finn. It just feels weird to me. I don't know if we'd have the same chemistry. It would just be odd. But me and E got some stuff to figure out. Maybe E's got some ideas that I don't know about yet. We'll talk about it here in the next few weeks. And we'll keep everybody posted as best we can. Maybe even bring on Connor, our video editor, to talk for a little bit, because he's been helping us out for a long time. So we'll figure all that out, and we'll let you guys know what happens. And then yeah, thank you guys for tuning in as always. If you want to check out the rest of our interviews from the past, go ahead and check out all those. You can click on the link down below. All the episodes are there. A lot of them are audio only from our early days. And then after Imperial Hal, every single one is on the YouTube. We will catch you guys next week. Maybe. We'll see. For another episode of the Apex the Podcast, but we're definitely not going to go away for too long. So we'll catch you guys soon. We'll see you guys soon. See you.